Well. They said it was fake engagement. Well. We'll wrap it up, and then I'll get into. We'll wrap up what I was talking about in just a split second. All right, we'll wrap that up, and then because my monologues are my monologues. It's my opportunity to connect with all of you. Right, we'll wrap that up. And I do have some content that I could go through. Hold on. Somebody is requesting to talk to Big Zeus. Cal Miller. Good morning. You wanted to talk to me? That's unusual.
Hey Zeus, how are you doing, man?
I'm all right. You wanted to talk to me this morning?
I did, sir.
All right.
And this is not specifically to you. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I have been watching uh, TikTok live debates, conversations for a long time now, and it the idea suddenly hit me that all it seems like all we're doing is yelling at MAGA and proving how stupid they are, which is, that's fun. Um,
Well,
I
speak
am
your truth. Don't listen. One of the things you got to understand about me is I rarely take whatever a person is saying personal, even, but I do challenge people to really
sure.
think the thought through. So as
Well,
long as you're not cursing or whatever, and if it's something that might apply to me, right, bro, and it's something that I could use to better myself, go ahead and say it.
here's my general idea, okay? And I've been starting to reach out to live creators who do platforms where they debate and talk about these issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to send out an open letter to all of y'all that I follow, and
Okay.
I want to pose a proposition, which is my idea is, and maybe I just have to start my own live, and maybe I can get support from you guys to
Yeah.
do this. But
Well, this is a good opportunity to at least get the idea out there, and then it'll go wherever you want it to go. As long as you're willing to put the effort into it. That's how life
yep,
works.
yep. So here's the idea. My perfect live platform at this point for people on the left who are really concerned about our country and the
Mm-hmm.
direction this is headed
Right.
would be a no MAGA platform. No MAGA at all. No MAGA in the comments. No MAGA in the box. And it would be platforms where people would really try and start linking up with other people in other cities, other counties, other states,
Yeah.
and building networks of people to do things to fix the problem. Because what drives me crazy is when I hear these debates with MAGA that go on for 20, 30, 40 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't care, they don't listen. Their main, in my opinion, their main reason to vote for a Donald Trump is to piss off liberals. Okay, it's culture war politics,
Yeah.
plain and simple, right?
Yeah.
And so that's my idea, is that, because here's my thing, Zeus. What I'm worried about is
Mm-hmm.
we've already let six months go by of this administration, and
Yeah.
look at the damage that has been done.
Well,
My
can I ask
worry.
this question and then
Yeah, sure.
because
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be honest with you. We can be honest with each other, right?
Sure, of course. I respect you a lot, man.
Thank you. I think that what's happening is bigger than what MAGA is doing. Like to me, it's like flies are always going to be attracted to things that sting, right? That's MAGA.
Hmm.
What we're dealing with is within the country, and I don't want to limit it to just the Democrat Party, right? We have a scenario situation where everyone is kind of wanting to do their own thing, and if you don't do what I say do, then I don't want to talk to you. Does that make sense?
Not quite sure. Can you explain that a little better for me?
Well, so for instance, I've been recently, confronted by people who maybe are more left than I am, right?
Okay.
Have you ever encountered anything like that? And I don't personally
Of
feel, huh?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a spectrum on the left as well. Sure.
And if you go back and you redo or replay what happened last election cycle amongst us, I'll limit it to just the Democrats. Didn't the Democrats split amongst themselves to a certain degree?
To a certain degree, yes.
So what do you say about that? Because to me, divide and conquer was in full display, and there was a lesson there where we all should have known. Well, if we divide ourselves, we're giving it to Donald. We're giving it to MAGA. And whether we brought MAGA up or not, us dividing ourselves, we still would have lost. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, and I think that's valid. But I think that's a slightly that's kind of a offshoot of what might have to be dealt with what I'm talking about. But here's the thing. Here's my thought.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who votes, like I'm a little bit left of where the Democratic Party is. I'm a little more
But would you
left
be
than that.
willing? Would you be willing to like compromise some of your beliefs in order for like the Democrats to win? Are there some things that
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
Okay, I mean, or
Absolutely.
yeah. See, I don't feel like that is prevalent, so to speak, as much as it should be because of the lack of urgency. If
Well,
that makes sense, right?
yeah, you might be right about that, but here's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Everyone I know who is, and let's just say for all intents and purposes to keep it simple,
Mm-hmm.
people who are just furious about what's happening right now.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to call that the left in general, right?
Okay.
So and some of those people on in the left want sweeping changes, huge changes that a lot of people that are centrists they're not quite comfortable with yet. I get that.
Right.
What I'm saying is I feel like there are enough people with a common goal of stopping what's happening right now. We can fight amongst ourselves once we stop this, right?
Mm.
That's my theory. It's like, hey y'all, whatever your differences are on the left, put those aside
Yeah.
and let's focus on fixing the problem we have right now because otherwise it's not going to matter what
Yeah.
your agenda is. It's not going to happen because we're not going to have a country anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
that's where I'm coming from.
so to me that's valid. And then the other part is okay. Now we honestly we do have to deal with MAGA. All right.
Yes.
Whether we want to believe it or not, these people they're not going away. So my question then becomes, how do you propose we deal with the reality that we have a lot of people in this country who you and I may agree are in a cult?
Yes.
How do you deal with that reality? Because whether or not you want to acknowledge it, guess what? There, this guy's sitting in the White House, just cranking
No,
it
you're
out,
right.
and you start having to say to yourself, how did we end up in this situation? Seriously. Now I got my speculations because I think Elon did something. I'll say that, and I don't mind leaning into that. But to a certain degree, this is why I go out here and I push back. And I'll say this: it's not what you do, it's how you do it. I don't think some
Hmm.
I don't think some of these conversations that we're having with Trump supporters in a lot of cases really highlight the positive side of being in the so-called Democrat Party because in a lot of cases, and I'll be honest, it gets really nasty, right? The conversation. It gets
Sure.
really nasty. It devolves into just utter chaos. And I'm guilty of it to a certain degree, but less so on my platform. On my platform, I try my best to at least keep the conversation on the up and up. But once the standard gets to a place where it's just, personal insults and people making threats and you're not highlighting I think the message. I think that's kind of something where people have to dig deep within themselves and ask themselves, like, am I really doing a good job advocating for whatever the cause is, so to speak?
Well, I agree with you, and you do tend to be one of the more calm people that I follow. Um,
I mean, because people are going to try to say things to you when you're talking stuff, right? And imagine you're talking to people who are in a cult. A lot of them have low self esteem, poorly educated. We know their description, we know their profile. And then if we are branding ourselves so supposedly as the party that has common sense, right? Then we should be able to keep that on display and then at the same time address those things they're struggling with, so to speak. That's my thing.
I see. I hear what you're saying, Zeus, but here's my thought on why what you're saying is kind of off the track of what I'm trying to get at. I have noticed that 99.9% of all MAGA who come up and try and quote unquote debate or have a conversation,
Mm-hmm.
they are either willfully ignorant, you can't give them a source that they will accept as being correct.
Right.
They are willfully ignorant and they only listen to what they are told
Now, did
by.
I tell you to say that? How you say your name, KL? Did I tell you to give that assessment of how you see MAGA, or you came to that
No,
own
no,
conclusion?
that's my opinion. Yeah, that's me. That's me, man.
And I agree
Um,
with you.
okay, and so here's my issue, and this is why I say that let me say it this way. I'm not saying that all of the platforms should be just gone that don't talk to MAGA,
Hmm.
but I'm saying that I'm just shocked that I have not seen one platform that is people on the left talking to other people on the left on how to go about stopping what's happening. Like, I feel like we're in panic mode right now. This is an emergency. And so I understand people wanting to talk to MAGA and try and give them information. But let me put it this way. I remember in the months leading up to the election,
Hmm.
everybody was in full mode of like, hey, let's save as many of these MAGA voters as we can and change their minds, right?
Well, let me ask you this. I don't. I'm just going to say this. I honestly, I don't. I don't think that there is hope, honestly, to save or change MAGA's mind.
That's my point.
I do
Yes.
think there is something to having the conversation, though. Does that make sense?
Well, I understand what you're saying, but to me, we're preaching to the choir. Like, everyone who follows these lives who is on the left is in
Well,
agreement with.
well, I'll say this. What do you say to a lot of, because I think on the internet, you and I think we're like political nerds, so to speak. Like we're probably way more into politics than the average American is, right?
Yeah, probably so.
So a lot of the viewers, especially if you look at the metrics and stuff like that, a lot of these people, they don't know the history of a lot of the conversations that tend to go on. And so when they tune in, you might be randomly, a person randomly tunes in. They might be hearing us, for instance, litigate January 6th. The conversations that we're having, we have to keep in mind, like, there's somebody that's just hearing this conversation for the first time that we might be able to reach by, having this conversation in a way that points out all of the misinformation. Does that make sense?
Are you talking about more people who are not MAGA, who are sort of in the middle and
The
trying to figure out?
independents are the
Yeah,
ones that tend to make or break an election, right?
right.
So what I try to keep in mind is, number one, I'm not really just talking to you, even though it's you and me. I'm also understanding there's somebody out there just looking at me,
Oh, yeah,
never
for sure.
interacted with me. This is their first time running into me.
Yeah.
So, to a certain degree, how I carry and compose myself and engage in this conversation, it really does matter because they might believe what this person that I'm talking to says, right? They really might be believing that. But if I can push back in a way that's, you know, respectable, so to speak,
Yeah.
I might be able to get them to go, you know what, I was thinking about voting for Donald Trump, but, or I was thinking about it this way, but now I'm starting to think about it the other way because I see this perspective that, Zeus or whoever the guest is. And so that's the thing that I think needs to happen a lot more. I think people got to recognize, like, the people we're talking to, they're just kind of the vessel for the conversation, but you
Yes.
still have a responsibility as a person that's trying to share that information to make sure you're able to get it to a place where it's digestible. And a lot of people don't want to listen to somebody telling them what to believe. Even if you're
Right.
right, you understand that's human nature.
Of course.
You ever worked in sales or anything like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a great product. I mean, why can't? It's because you're not selling it right. And
Well, I agree with that. Yes, that is very true. And I should probably be more specific. When I say like not talking to MAGA, I'm not talking about independents or people who are on the fence. And the only reason that I say I would like to either start my own platform or
You would be good at starting your platform. I would never tell you not to. I'm just gonna say like you're gonna to me at least I can speak for my own opinion. Like there's tolerances and then there's levels to what you're doing. Like when I started out, I had my ideas about how perhaps it should be, right? And
yes.
then you start to evolve, you start to grow, you start to learn what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with, and then you find what works for you, and what works for you might not work for Big Zeus. But
No,
you get
absolutely.
what I mean? So I would
I
never say you shouldn't do anything. I just, I'm basically sharing with you some of the experiences that I had, and I'm also challenging you as well because I think there is something to you having that conversation with somebody that you might disagree with philosophically, politically, or whatever. And
right.
it's not what you say; it's truly how you say it. And remember, it's just not you and that person talking when you're on the internet, right? If you're just you and them, you cut them off. I don't got time to waste. But if you're, there's an audience and there's people listening, and I try to keep this in mind too. You go out into your real world, right? And you have to go to various stores, maybe the gym. You just know. Do you think every person you interact with is a person that believes and supports your political party?
Oh, absolutely not.
It doesn't even work like that in the real life, right?
No, no, it doesn't. And I'm not saying that I don't. Okay, let me put it this way.
Well,
I have learned. I'm a political person. I have been since I was a teenager,
yeah,
right?
that's good.
Um, but even having said that, and being a huge history buff, like I'm just a history nerd.
Mm-hmm.
So put that together with politics, and I have a pretty decent idea of how the political, structure of this country has evolved over the years.
Where would you say your perspective is relative to the average Americans?
I don't know. I don't want to speculate because I don't know how many people are like me and how many aren't. But the point I'm trying to make is, even with the knowledge that I have, I still learn things. To your point, in a lot of lives that I go to, where 90% of it may be infuriating to me, but sometimes I learn something, right, that I didn't know. So,
Yeah.
to your point, that is very, very important, and that is the Lord's work, so to speak. But what I'm saying is, I don't, I think, I just think that I think what we're doing on the left in general, and again, the broad coalition, right?
Yeah.
Broad spectrum. I think what we're doing on the left is, apart from educating other people and our own people, I think a lot of energy is being spent just, um, and again, I'm not specifically talking about your live. I'm thinking of other lives in general, but um,
Well,
so
when
much.
you say that, I think he's talking about my life.
No, I'm really
I,
not, because every time I watch you,
I'm
I
just telling
don't.
you that's how I operate. But go ahead and say it doesn't matter though. I mean, I
No,
want
it
you to
doesn't.
because
It
I
doesn't
think
matter.
this is to me whether people understand it. I think this conversation is it's one that's pretty important to have. I mean, outside of what I normally do, so I don't mind having it.
Well, look, man. I don't say that to butter you up or to try and not get you to be upset with me. I
Mm-hmm.
say that because, again, on the spectrum of people on the left
Mm-hmm.
who are operating in the field, working the fields that you're working in, there are many, many, many live creators who are not as even tempered, or they just get easily flustered, which makes MAGA super happy. So I tend to gravitate toward lives, of people who are a little more calm,
Yeah.
a little more even tempered, and that's why I say that. That's just a qualifier, okay?
Yeah.
Um, and so I do learn things even from lives where the host is just going crazy and losing their shit and making MAGA
That
happy.
see what you just did. You just used profanity. I just got you.
Oh,
See, it was so you were doing
I'm
so
so
good, but
sorry.
you're not keeping it clean. See, I
I'm so
got you.
sorry. I'm so
But I get
sorry.
what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But you should definitely. I would or encourage anyone. Just go live, right, and just get out here and try what you feel makes a, has an impact, right? Because you got to get outside of this. I'm afraid to do it and just do it.
Right.
And you might end up teaching me something because, like, to your point, this, I'm always learning every day. I don't know everything, and I think that's been quite apparent. But one of the things is I'm very very persistent about getting what I want, and to what the goal is now is uh surrendering this country right now to Donald Trump and his supporters is crazy to me. All right.
Agreed.
And this means I'm going to go confront the beast. I'm going to look the beast in their eyes and tell the beast, your time is up. You don't got much more time. And that's just my attitude because I deal with it so much on the internet and offline where it's just like this. We're at a point now where you should just be able to look the MAGA demon in their eyes and just flat out rebuke it and say, you're a liar. Now, how much time you want to spend doing that, that's your choice. But you got to stop it in its tracks and start telling these people to their faces, you're a liar. All right, because this is what happened. This is the mistake last time. We kind of thought they'd figure it out. At this point, I know they won't figure it out, right? But I also understand it's not what you do, it's how you do it, right? So I can't go around here and just be and I'm only speaking for myself because, I think there's a lot of different approaches. But
Yep.
for me personally, I have to make sure that whoever looks at me, whether I'm on the internet or off the internet, they understand like this guy still carries himself a certain type of way because that's a guy, that's how he is, so to speak, right? And so even if I'm talking to somebody that I do not disagree with and I believe is ruining this great country of ours, I still know how to assert my position without compromising my values. You know what I mean?
I do. And to kind of, I'll wrap this up because I know you've got other stuff to do. But do you think that, as someone who's been doing this for a while, do you think the platform? Because here's what I'm trying to figure out, Zeus, is how this can be done and be successful. Um, do you think
Hmm.
it would be more successful to achieve my goals to have maybe a platform where sometimes we are talking directly to MAGA and sometimes it's just talking to the left on
Yeah,
to actually organize or something like that?
I think that would be a great idea.
Okay.
Honestly, because there I know there's creators out here who they don't even just stick to politics. They talk about other issues, right?
Right.
So I would never knock you for doing that, but I would say you might be creating something new and to go ahead and try it.
Okay.
But
Well,
to not try it and be just always criticizing and never really testing out the idea, to me that's the worst you can do. That's the
well,
worst any of us can do, really, is never ever give the idea a life and then go through the trials and tribulations of, in a way, failing. You're gonna fail a couple of times, but if you don't ever try, you really shouldn't even say anything as far as I'm concerned.
well, I agree with you, and this is sort of a new idea for me, and
Hmm.
so that's kind of why I've been reaching out to people and just feeling people out,
Yeah,
getting advice. So I appreciate you talking to me
no
about this, and
problem.
if I can get this rolling, would it be okay if I reached out to you once in a while if I had questions or just wanted
There
an
you go.
opinion
You
on something?
you just gotta follow. All right, I'm one of the busiest people on the internet, but you just gotta follow. All right, Zeus. And that goes. And if anybody, and notice, though I was talking to you, I did try to keep in mind there could be other people like yourself out there, right?
Right.
So I'm hoping that they could take the good out of the conversation and apply it to themselves, all right? Because that's what, to me, that's what's going to win people over. I do think a lot of people who are looking at what's happening in this country, once we get our feet together, because once we get our messaging together and we start being realistic about the things we need to do to start bringing people back into the fold, I think it'll be a very easy thing. It's going to happen so fast, and the cult, they're going to go, wow, why are all these people all of a sudden going that direction? Because they're going to go for the direction of saving the country, right? And they're going to start feeling left out, and then I'll say, you know what, Zeus, that means our work is that means our work here is done. But we have to figure out a way to remind people of the things that they truly truly enjoyed about this country prior to where we're at now, if that makes sense. And
Right.
some of that means uh, there's a lot of things that I want, but I'm gonna set that aside for the greater mission, so to speak.
Yeah. That's
Fair
kind of
enough.
where I'm at.
Yeah.
Well, hey man, I really appreciate your
Yeah,
time. I love your live, so keep doing what you're doing, and I may reach out to you at some
fair
point.
enough. Sounds good. All right.
Okay, thank you, Zeus.
You're welcome. See, that's patriotic stuff. That's being American right here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go on, ladies and gentlemen. I did see some other folks out there that wanted to come up. Erica, you wanted to come up?
Yes. Hey, Zeus, how are
Hey,
you?
hey, how are you?
I'm doing.
Oops, so sorry, Erica. I did the wrong person. TikTok did. Don't blame me, Erica. That's TikTok. Don't blame me. That's TikTok. I sent you another invite. Sorry about that. All right.
Oh, you done pulled a Santana. What the heck? You almost made me laugh.
Fair enough. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
It's okay.
Santana's right there too. Yeah, there he
Oh,
is.
don't let him up.
Well, you know what? You the boss. Go for it.
Don't do it. All
Yeah.
right. Hey, happy Friday.
Ha-
Um,
Happy Friday.
I was coming up because the young man that you were just speaking with, he
Yeah.
said something. He said that we need to speak to the left, and that he kind of alluded to like that, like the content creators are just doing this on TikTok and they're not getting outside and doing this, which is really crazy that he said that because it's something that I've been thinking about. Um, Hector and I started this series called Bridging the Gap,
Yeah.
where we talk about like the differences between different groups and how we can come together. And one of the things that I'm doing on Sunday, if you don't mind, some self promo. Do you
No,
mind?
no,
Okay.
no, no. Thank you. You know, it's a different Independence Day. This is the real Independence. Go, please share out.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sis. I appreciate you. So here's the deal. So like because of the big ugly bill passing yesterday, and he's likely gonna sign it today, um there's this thing where it kind of like made me realize like there's so much more that we need to be doing as content creators, and I can't judge anyone if they can. They can't do anything, but I know that I want to delve more into organizing,
Mm,
actually getting out and being in the neighborhood and actually talking to more people, quote unquote, boots on the ground. And so what we're doing on Sunday is I have an organizer friend,
okay.
Falcon. She's from Money Out of Politics, based in DC, and she knows so many organizers all across the country. And we're going to be talking to different organizers and speaking to people about how you can actually get involved. Because the main thing about the big ugly bill is that it's not irreversible. It's not. It's not. The midterms are extremely important, Zeus. We need to actually get out, talk to people, tell the truth, speak up about the things that actually matter.
That's right.
And we have different ways that we can do that. And we're going to be talking about, like, if you don't like going outside or if you can't go outside,
Mm,
what you can do. Because it's not all about protesting, it's
mm.
not all about going door to door. All right. There's so many different things that you can do. And if you guys are available, please, by all means, stop by my live on Sunday. The 7th at, no, is it the 7th? Yes, it's the 6th, Sunday the 6th at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and we're going to be talking to different organizers
That's right.
and how we can bridge the gap between content creators and organizers.
Bingo. See what I'm saying? All of these ideas I think are necessary, right?
Mhm.
And you're doing this, Erica. Is it because the DNC is paying you?
No, I wish they were, but they're not. This is free labor here.
Because you love the country, all right? That's what I'm trying to say.
I
When
love
you
American citizens.
Thank
I
you.
love the United States citizens, and
Thank
I
you.
don't want to see people suffer.
Bingo,
Yeah.
bingo. And that's what we're trying to do. And that means waking up those who clearly might be lost and you know, and for whatever the reason is. So yeah, thank you. You said that's on Sunday?
Yes, it's Sunday at 1 p.m. And Eugene, it is reversible. So it's not irreversible, it is reversible. And we just need to have the supermajority in both the Senate and the House. And I said this last night that I'm pretty sure the GOP thinks that we're just going to get, either like one or the other,
Mm-hmm.
not both. We need to fight and get the word out to make sure that we get both. And it's so important that we do vote and that we also look at our local elections, our state elections. Like, it's not all about the federal level. Like, we have to be involved not just every 2 to 4 years, but every single day.
She's telling the truth. W. Erica, ladies and gentlemen, she's telling the truth.
Yeah. Yes, I think I found my passion, my calling. So we're gonna see how everything
Yeah.
goes. I'm hoping for the best.
Me too. All right. And are we willing to set aside some of our, personal differences in order to win this next cycle, Erica? I'm just curious.
When you say personal differences, are you talking about with MAGA?
No, well, there's things that you want a candidate to have sometimes, right?
Yeah. Okay. I must say. Okay.
And because some people say, "Oh, Kamala wasn't perfect, so I couldn't do it."
Oh, most definitely. Yes. If it's for the greater good,
Hmm.
it's always going to be about the greater good. What's going to be best? It's like even so, and I think with people on the left also, we have to be able to do that,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to independence. We always talk about how, well, you voted for such and such, that's a waste of vote. But if this person has everything that we're looking for in a candidate, and the only thing is that they don't have a D beside their name, but they're gonna vote
Mm.
on the left, then by all means let's put our efforts behind this person and get them in there, and so that they can vote, because a lot of progressives are moving towards independent. Instead of having a D beside their name, they're going to start having the I, and we
Mm.
can't leave them out.
That
So
part.
so yeah. Yeah, and shout out to Money Out of Politics is here. I just saw her come in. But
Okay.
yeah, it's
Shout
just
out.
it's we have to be able to look beyond the single issues and look at the bigger picture. I'm so about the bigger picture, man. It's just we can't just focus on that one thing. It's about everything. Gloria.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. Well, Erica, you nailed it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is my beautiful friend Erica. Any plans for today, though?
I'll be honest, Zeus. You may not like it. I don't celebrate the fourth, but I am being drugged to a pool party.
Oh. I'm
And
glad you added the part to a pool party because when you said I'm being drugged, I said, what?
what? Hold on now.
I was like, yeah, what? That's a little
What's happening?
interesting, right? But to a pool party, that's a clever one.
I'm being forced to a pool party with my friends, so I will be there, and we may do a little bit of TikTok chaos later tonight, but you never know.
All right. Well, then, you know what? Whatever you're doing, please stay safe out there. We need you back. All right. Seriously.
Yes, sir.
All
Got
right.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, show Erica some love.
Thank you, Zeus. I appreciate
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome.
Have a great day.
You too. Wow, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, who do we have next? Oops, who do we have next? Oh my goodness. There we go. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Who is this? This is a Trump supporter, and I'm surprised Larry actually found me over here. Uh, how are you doing?
What's going on, Zeus? Happy Fourth.
Yeah. Well, happy Fourth. What's going on though? Are you satisfied with what's happening to this country? Because it's not looking good, bro.
How could you say that on the birthday of the greatest country in the history of the world when we're on such a streak, such a roll?
See,
There's so many phenomenal things happening that you should be so proud of to be an
see,
American.
see.
You should sing pro-American songs at the top of your lungs today, Zeus. What's wrong with you?
So, Larry, I don't know if you've noticed or heard any of the stuff that I've talked about, but maybe this is your first time. What we're dealing with is sheer incompetence. Yesterday at his rally, your dear leader said something, and it's very disturbing. And he said he authorized Iran to attack us.
You know what? I've been out of pocket off
Mm.
the phone.
Oh,
So can you
okay.
tell me the exact quote? Because you guys have a tendency to twist things.
Fair
Tell me
enough.
the exact quote that he said.
Okay. Well, would you be okay if I just let it
Yeah,
play?
play the clip. Play the clip.
Okay. Fair enough. You got a little time on you, right?
Let's see it.
Okay, all right. Hold on, let me see. I didn't think I was gonna run into you today, but since you asked, you asked, and I can deliver. Just bear with me. Just 1 second. Okay, there we go. Okay, there we go. There. Okay, here you go.
Neuropathy has no cure. Nerve pain is normal. Here are the 3 biggest myths keeping you from recovering. If you have
one after another. You know, they called me to tell me they have to take a shot at us. This was Iran, very respectful. That means they respect us. Because we dropped 14 bombs, they said, we'd like to take 14 shots at you. I said, go ahead, I understand. They said, where they'd do it. I said, good. We emptied out the fort. It was a beautiful military base in Qatar who treated us really fantastically well. And they said, sir, 1 o'clock, okay? I said, it was fine. We could make it later. We had nobody but 4 gunners. We had 4, they call them gunners, and they shoot the Patriots. They shoot the missiles up. It's hard to believe. So all of a sudden they said, we're ready. And they were a little nervous about doing it, I want to tell you. Can you imagine? They were nice enough. This is Iran to call me and tell me that they would like to shoot me at 14 times. So they want to shoot us. And I said,
I'm gonna just stop it there, Larry. Now,
So are you?
would you
confused?
consider that patriotic?
So can we explain what's actually going on here? Because the feeble mind of the average Democrat certainly doesn't understand what's actually happening and what he's actually saying. For some reason, people on the right clearly understand, and you have people on the left jumping ship because they finally get it. People like yourself have such a limited, narrow scope of mind that you don't understand. What does that mean to you before I break down to you what it actually was? What does that mean to you?
It means that we probably should look into what happened in Butler, because if they would call him and tell him they're going to do something like that with this incident, and you add that to what Ted Cruz said, which was it was Iran that was trying to do it to him, then you have to think, well, is this their first time running this play on the American people in order to try to gain sympathy? That's what
I
it
don't
means to
think-
me.
Okay, so you're confused, clearly.
Oh,
That's
no,
okay.
no.
That's
If you
okay. Let me break
Larry,
it down.
Larry,
Let Larry
if
break
Larry,
it down
if
for
you
the
ask,
reason
if you
why.
ask me a question, you ask Big Zeus a question, and I'm giving you an answer, and the answer I gave you is grounded in what they call reality. It's a simple word. All right. Now, why do you disbelieve my perspective? That's the real question, because I love it when MAGA gets in my box and tries to explain things such as, oh, Zeus, this is a good example of how patriotic Donald Trump was. Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, you do understand that Iran, for political reasons and for press reasons, who wanted to claim that they won the war. Did you not see that they claimed that they won the war?
I saw that.
Okay, so
So
that
we
was
agree it's a war.
So I'm telling you what the Iranian government foreign minister tweeted, which is that Iran won the war. That was really important for them saving face as they were basically had all their nuclear facilities destroyed at the same time were completely pummeled by Israel and wanted to stand down. So in order to stand down, they did had a very, very minute show of display, which is we're going to attack an American military base in Qatar, but we're going to be so respectful. We don't want to hit anything. We're going to give Trump the heads up so they can intercept that, because we don't actually want to do damage. We just want to be able to go on our Twitter and lie to our country that we actually won the war, which is exactly what they did. If you don't understand that, you should go back to 7th grade civics class, because this is such an easy one. And for you to start bringing in outside topics as if there's something to see here, there's nothing to see here. This is a corrupt government that simply wants to claim they won the war, so they gave Daddy Trump the heads up to intercept the missiles. Happy 4th of July, Zeus. You live in the strongest country in the world. Hopefully you understand a little bit more about geopolitics after talking to Big Larry over here.
Does anybody in the audience believe, I want to say Big Larry, but that he would be
W
hijacking?
Larry's all throughout the chat. W Larry, I agree.
Does
Thank you.
anybody,
Thank
does
you,
anybody,
chat.
does any,
I
now,
will cook Zeus over and over and over. This is fun, even on a holiday, Zeus.
so Larry, if you haven't been looking at the reaction in the audience, a lot of people are sitting back just as puzzled as I am. Because Larry,
That's because the Dems don't get it.
Larry, so let me reframe what you just said and say it again, but use Joe Biden as the president of the United States. But say
I'm not going to do that.
No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
going to waste the time on that.
So if you can't
Joe
retell,
Biden was asleep. That was Weekend at Bernie's for 4 years.
Yeah.
We don't have to use that example.
so in other words, your cult leader can do anything, but everyone else, they got to get
He didn't
basically.
do anything. He didn't do anything. He took out the Iran nuclear sites Iran wanted a press win so they could tweet to the country that they won the war.
Larry.
If you haven't checked, they actually
Larry.
shut off internet access to Iranian citizens. So they don't have a very good way of getting information. They control that. And so they wanted to say, can I at
least say something to the audience real quickly? We don't believe what Larry is saying, ladies and gentlemen. We all understand this was just something Trump did to take our attention off of the situation that him and Elon got into when
this has
Elon.
Nothing to do with that.
Oh,
this has to do with the fact that he got a phone call from Iran that was basically respect. There's some missiles coming your way.
Okay, Larry, let me explain it to you, Larry. What did Elon accuse Trump of?
Has nothing to do.
No, but just say it.
Elon.
Just say it.
This is a conversation.
Okay, I'll say it. That being in the Epstein files, so he had to distract us, and he started doing things like sending the National Guard. He started sending the National Guard out here to California. That didn't work, so he had to escalate. And so he then said, "Oh, I'm going to go and destroy," or as he used it, obliterate their facilities. But last time I checked, Larry, and you could go fact check me on this. Iran also said it's our right to cook up this uranium, and we're going to keep cooking up uranium. And there's nothing Donald Trump can do. You might have, destroyed the facility a little bit, but we can cook it up. We can cook it up anywhere we want to, Larry. They're still cooking it up, Larry. So
let's give it a few weeks.
Okay. So
what happens?
But there's wait a few weeks and see what happens. 2 weeks.
Wait a few weeks. Let's see if the IAEA they currently have suspended access. Time will tell, Zeus.
And so,
Let me
Larry,
ask you a question.
This is why I say it's the most unpatriotic situation. A lot of people in this country, because of the things you just said, we're saying we're not celebrating the 4th of July. Yeah, it's a holiday. But look at the state of affairs in America right now. This is bad news when you have a sitting president of the United States.
Democratic pandemic of misinformation.
When you have a sitting
looniness,
Larry,
of anti-American Democratic USA haters that are spreading misinformation, fear-mongering, and hate. And you, by the way, have a huge role in that.
Me?
Yes.
Why?
Huge role in that because you're a big TikTok platform creator. It spreads enormous amounts of fake news on a daily basis. I was just ready to be surprised by Donald Trump. I had not heard or seen that. I was hearing that for the first time. Anybody could decode what just happened there. If you can't, you should stop talking.
Let me say this, and then we'll move on because there's something else that I wanted to talk about. So my position, Larry, whether you want to accept it or not, is that a president of the United States shouldn't be coordinating with our adversaries to attack a military base. I don't care what the excuse is. I don't know. I don't care what the reason. Listen, I don't care what the reason is. It makes us look weak when they are when they run an attack plan across you and you say, "Yeah, go ahead and strike the base." What you're saying is any country
They never said strike the base. Hold on, let me correct your misinformation because you were the king of it. Here's what happened.
I just played it.
The phone call. You weren't part of the phone call. You don't have access to classified information. You have access to Trump's public speech, dude. Get a grip.
Is he telling the truth?
Let me tell you what happened, okay? Because this is really simple.
Can I ask you another question?
Let me just tell you what happened. Let me tell you what happened so you could stop lying. He received a phone call, and they basically said missiles are going out. They're going to the Qatar Air Force Base. We basically want you to intercept them. This is
no.
Political show.
Okay, and then Larry, stop right there. Stop right there. And you know what he should have did right there? Larry, he should have said, "Don't you dare. I'm Donald Trump. I'm the president of the United States. You better figure out a different way to lie. You better figure out a way to celebrate. You can lie to your people." This is what Donald Trump should have did if he was really a strong person.
He didn't need to.
Larry. Let me just say what I need to say. He should have told Iran, "You can lie to the people and do whatever you want, but don't you dare launch any of that at my military base and give any of these other countries on the face of the earth, especially Russia, that it's okay to do it." That's what he should have did. Case closed.
It was a pre-4th of July celebration.
Okay,
nothing hit anything. It was a beautiful.
All right, I got one more question.
Patriotic.
I got one more question because it's all about Donald Trump and his cognitive abilities. What do you think about him saying? What did he say? He said, "Hold on, real quick." It had something to do with inflation. Yeah.
Should this futuristic tooth?
Hold on, real quick, and this won't be as long. I'm just curious.
These always have such amazing white teeth.
Any country has ever seen, we've never had anything like that. These people were fools. They allowed it to happen. You know, we've already cured inflation.
How do you cure inflation?
What do you mean? How do you cure inflation?
He said we've already cured inflation.
Inflation is significantly better than it was under Joe Biden by far. I don't want to talk about COVID, but look at what's happening in this country. And if you look at the GDP impact from this big, beautiful bill, which you can't see because this thing's all about growth. It's all about sustaining economic growth in this country. We're going into a growth renaissance. If you get off TikTok and you figure out how to actually start a business and be an American patriot and a man that stops complaining like a little beta on TikTok, but instead jumps into action as a value creator in this country, you couldn't have timed it better with that one beautiful bill. So I'll leave you with that. I'm not going to give you any more free advice. You don't really deserve it. But congratulations on having the biggest misinformation platform on TikTok.
Okay. Thank you, Larry. I'm so sorry to see you go. All right. But you enjoy the rest of whatever day you got. All right. Because we know one thing. It's not going to be good. All right. W Zeus. And I'll take care of the rest. Ladies and gentlemen, has Larry, has he deserved it or not? Lake of Fire. Yes or no? Because Larry, it's a democracy.
You get cooked every time. Just once, Zeus. Can you bring up like a compelling point that actually puts me like on my back foot just once?
I did.
I was hoping
they
when
said
you played
yes.
that video.
They said W
that was
Zeus.
Such a layup. Okay, W Zeus. You got hundreds of minions in here that just.
I thought you had other things to do.
The world is flat, and they say W Zeus, dude. So get a grip.
I could play more. I could talk about when he said he's going to let the farmers have. I can play more when he said he's going to let the farmers, basically allow them to have immigrants work on their farms, which basically is a waste of taxpayers' dollars if you're going to let them come back in the country. I could do that, but obviously, Larry, you've done enough damage. You've done enough damage. All right.
Get back to your.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
A lot of fear mongering to do on 4th of July.
Fair enough.
Happy 4th, everybody.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. And so that's Larry, ladies and gentlemen, a MAGA demon at the highest level. And as you can see, every time I played something that his dear leader said, he flipped out, foamed at the mouth. And he understood things, all right? Because that's what demons do. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send Larry where he came from, straight to hell!
Silence, you MAGA demon!
Again. If Larry was so thrilled about the big, beautiful bill, don't you think he would sound a lot happier, ladies and gentlemen? He knows he's been sold a bad bill of goods. And the best he has is to try to get up here and just defend Donald Trump through. He had everything. He could translate everything Donald Trump meant. True Rican pride, are you there?
They all think they're Trump whisperers, man.
Yeah, ain't that something?
It's the supposed strategy that they think he has. So you allow for Iran to bomb a military base, and that is supposed to do what? Because as far as I'm concerned, it makes us look weak. So it's like you said. So what are we going to do? Are we going to be performative now? So that if every other country wants to look like they're strong, we're going to allow them to go ahead and do the performative thing? Larry, bro, you got owned. You have nothing for Zeus.
Exactly. You're telling him the truth. There's an echo, though. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. It's probably me.
Okay. I mean, I'll be muting then if you're talking. But yeah, please continue, because you were saying something.
Well, no, I mean, it's just these individuals, they think that they're like these master strategists. Like, we're not been doing this for some time. You, my man, are definitely a very patient individual as compared to me. Larry, you're not a master strategist. You're a poser. You're a cult member who thinks that you're some sort of genius, and you're not. The playbook that you try to play out wasn't working for you. I know that you're used to utilizing this in your conservative lives, and they're impressed by you because they think like you. They are, respectfully, Zeus, they're a bunch of inept individuals that do know reality if it smacked them in the face. There
you go. And so And so, Regan, this is the conundrum that we find ourselves in, because the conversation that I had before, you saw that one too, right? And then you see where we just went with this guy Larry. How do you make sense out of all of this if you were to try to say, this is the path forward for us to win the next election cycle?
With regards to us winning the next election cycle, I think people have got to realize that there is really nothing to reach out with regards to the Trump supporters. They're out there. There is nothing that you can conceivably say to them that's going to persuade them to come into the site. It's got to hurt. It's got to hurt. It's got to be impactful. This legislation that they're going to sign into law has got to absolutely be impactful to their everyday existence in order for them to realize that they were gaslit into the support that they afford Donald Trump. And that's the only time that they're going to realize you and I and everyone on this platform can provide them endless, boundless forms of education. They do not want to corroborate it. They're not interested in reality. And the fact of the matter is, we within the Democratic Party, we've got to work on ourselves. We got to work on unifying the party. We have no unanimity in this party. We have very diverse ideologies within the Democratic Party, and unless we start coalescing and start driving in one cohesive party, I really don't know what it is that we're going to be doing.
Yeah, and that reminds me, you said something earlier. You said, what are you willing to sacrifice? Could you elaborate on that question and why that was? Because to me, it was a very, very profound question.
I mean, this is the thing. I see a lot of arguments with certain, even pundits themselves. They're saying that they want to attract the men, right? The younger boys or the younger men. And my question is, these are the Andrew Tates. These are the ones that support Nick Fuentes. These are the ones that support the Joe Rogans. So what are you willing to give up as an ideology or a standard that the Democratic Party has historically stood for? In other words, are you willing to lower the value system for the Democratic Party to attract individuals that align with Nick Fuentes and all these individuals? Because is that moving forward or is that moving backwards?
That's the question. And that's the reality that we must confront. Because would it be fair to say that the numbers aren't in our favor right now? What do you think?
I think that there is a lot of people who would be inclined to voting for the Democratic Party. I think that they feel like they're being alienated. I'll give you an example, which is Zohran Mamdani. That is an individual that has basically godsmacked everybody in the city of New York because they expected that name recognition was going to be enough for Andrew Cuomo to win. And the reality of the matter is that people are kind of fed up with politics as usual, including having individuals that because you were a governor of the New York State, you felt that you really didn't need to convince people to go and vote for you. Zohran did that. Zohran met people where they are. Zohran walked the community. Zohran got a footprint within the internet. So he basically reached out to people's communities. And honestly, what I've seen, sadly, from the Democratic Party, whether it's isolated to Andrew Cuomo's strategies, is a bit of xenophobia, to be honest with you. And it's sad.
Yeah.
Because we're supposed to be better, right?
Yep. And it's all coming out in the wash. Yep. And so this is why it's very, very important for people to actually be able to, I would argue, pay attention and see where there's positive things that are being done within the party. And then, show that real support. Because that's really what's needed.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that I think that people have got to be able to call out even the shortcomings within the party. You can't put a blind eye to things that you run in support within the Republican Party, so why would it be acceptable in the Democratic Party? We can't be hypocrites. And, like I said, people are tired of politics as usual, and that things like that detract people from supporting a party because they feel that ultimately it's two wings of the same bird. God, I've heard that argument over and over.
I totally agree. All right. Well, listen, bro. I appreciate you
Appreciate
coming
my
up here,
brother.
ladies and gentlemen. W. True Rican. No lies. Detected. All right, ladies and gentlemen. See, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it's a safe space to get up here and say what you need to say. All right, we connecting a lot of dots on Independence Day, so to speak. Dr. Keisha, how are you doing? Oh my goodness. Oh, I gotta tuck in with my brother. Don't worry, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Nutty. How are you?
Work is good, man. So happy Juneteenth extension.
Okay.
So this is just going to be the extension of Juneteenth because until all are free, none is free.
Amen. Preach on.
So we don't celebrate the 4th of July when we still have black folks that were still living under harsh captivity. So with that being said, I want to make sense of something, Zeus.
Speak on it.
What sense does it make for Iran? I don't care if you're listening to Keisha, it's Iran. What sense does it make for them to contact the United States and say, we're going to boom your military base in Qatar? Because we want a talking point for our people. And for Donald John Trump to say, oh, go ahead, we're going to let you do that and cost the U.S. American tax-paying citizen even more money because whatever they boom, we're going to have to fix and replace. Like, make that make sense to me. What leader on earth would give another nation the okay to send any type of missile to any of their interests? Make it make sense, my dude.
They can't. You saw him trying to make it seem like it was a positive thing that happened, and he was actually doing it because he's looking out for Iran. I'm like, why are you looking out for Iran? You should be looking out for the United States of America.
And here's my other question.
Talk to him.
I'm just so flabbergasted by first when you brought up the actual comment. He's like, well, I've been unplugged. I really don't know. Can you go ahead and play it, right?
Yeah.
But yet, when you played it, he's going to tell you that's not what he meant. This is what he meant. Like, are y'all picking up what he laid down? Like, I'm so not confused, but confused. But I want to touch on the point that Erica made. Erica, first of all, she's amazing.
Yeah.
She's a wonderful content creator. But she brought up a point that I need everyone to understand. This atrocity that got signed by the House of Representatives that's going to go to Trump's desk later on today, it can absolutely 100% without question, it can be undone. She absolutely has told the truth about getting out to vote. We don't just need a simple majority in both the House and the Senate. We have to run the numbers up. We have to get enough of a majority in both houses that we can push through and fix every issue that we've had from the first administration till now. And what do I mean by that, Nutty? I mean to reverse the hell that we saw on yesterday. To
reverse it.
To give people their health care back. Let me just put it this way, to give people their Obamacare back, because we know that's the real issue.
You should be thanking Obama, MAGA.
We know that's the real issue. To give people their health care back, to give people their Medicare and their Medicaid back. We are the United States of America. We are of the people, by the people, and for the people. And we, the people, will get out this midterm election. You need to get off your nasty derrieres and get to the polls.
That part.
Each one of us need to take anywhere from 5 to 10 people, talk to them daily basis, say, hey, I need you to get out and vote. And Zeus, I've never been one to tell people how to vote, but that's changed now.
Talk to them.
Because if you have not, because you asked
not. Thank you.
And if I'm going to be out there wasting my precious oxygen trying to get people to vote, I'm going to be trying to get them to vote the way I need them to vote.
And a lot of these people that we're talking to, they don't know how to vote. So we got to just tell them what to do. Don't even try to tell them to go do their own research.
Listen, if you all need to print out sample ballots and fill out the sample ballots for them and say, here, take this into the polls, emulate this by any means necessary.
W Nutty. That's a good point, because a lot of them, I don't trust people to do their own research now. So it's at a point now, just come get the answers to the test, right? And you'll be fine. Because if we leave it up to you, you're going to make the same mistake you made this previous election cycle. I get it.
Like Ultra MAGA lady that we spoke about the other day.
Oh,
we need to try to help Ultra MAGA lady get her Medicaid back so she won't go blind, so she can get her glucose strips. Now, as much as I'm saying FAFO,
correct,
I still don't want her to unalive. I still don't want her to be blind when it can be prevented. Like, that's the thing.
That's hard. That's a tough one, Nutty, because
even though Ultra MAGA lady said screw you to every single one of us,
that's what she did.
Said, screw you.
Yeah.
I still don't want to see anything negative happen to her.
Nutty, man. Come on, man. What did you do this morning? Because that's totally unlike you. You have to. You usually are a little bit more sane. Today you're a little too kind. Is everything okay?
Well, listen, Zeus.
What happened, man? I mean, there has to be some consequence for this. This is treason.
Wait, Zeus. Hey. The nut didn't fall too far from the tree. I'm still Nutty Professor.
Thank you.
I'm still Nutty Professor.
Right, Rick? She got to change her name.
Listen. I am all in favor of Alligator Alcatraz because I want to send them to Alligator Alcatraz. Let them go there and let there be their hillbilly resort.
That part. Now listen, Ange, you're here. You said you never say let you up, and that means let you up. I didn't know you wanted to come up with both of us, but how are you? And happy 4th.
Well, no. before Ange goes, the reason why Ange wanted to be up in the box with the both of us. The reason why, Zeus, can I tell you, brother? Can I tell you why?
Here it comes. I know what it is.
Because she is so enamored by all of this black beauty. She's so enamored by it.
Oh, that's fair.
And so even though she has a wonderful husband, she's always been curious about the saying, once you go black, and I'll end it right there.
Okay, you can't go back. All right, we can leave that there, Nutty. That's a good one. Fair enough. All right, and I was going to say something, but I'm going to leave well enough alone, Nutty. All right, that's a good one.
I thought he was going to make me have to decide who was more handsome.
Oh, well, we already know the truth.
Okay, see, that's that right there. That did it right there. I knew it.
Now you got me
we already know the truth.
Nutty. Come on now. Listen, you were doing good today, Nutty, and I would encourage you to not let the devil use you like that.
You go right ahead, Ange. You go, because I'm not listening to Zeus right now. You go right ahead, Ange.
Well, I mean, I am not married to a white man because y'all know I don't like. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But
it's to each their own, right?
I thought, Nutty, I'm usually the nice one, and you're kind of coming out, a little more powerful than me, but no, I want this to slap them right in the face. No, I do.
Yeah.
I never say that. People who come into my lives, I take heat for being too nice sometimes, for being too kind and trying to flip them and get them to come to our side. No. Just let it slap them right in the face. I don't care. I really am that angry about this. Y'all deserve it. You deserve it. Okay? Because you are not like us. You are so selfish. This is beyond selfish. Now, I gotta say, I am very lucky to have private insurance, and it still costs us a lot of money. And you know what? I probably still, now see, I'm gonna be nice, I lied. I probably still would say, raise my insurance so that some of you will still have yours. I would. Y'all make me sick. If you're in here, you make me sick.
You hear that, Double D? Because Double D is laughing.
They want to see kids starve. Who in the heck in their right mind wants to see children starve? They know it. They know. They say it. I'm in lives. I host my own lives. They say the word, I don't care.
That's crazy.
It's disgusting. You guys, if you're in here, you're disgusting.
You and him, I mean, Angie, that says a lot because, you know, it's usually the other way around. Nutty is dark and you're light, but today Nutty is light and you're dark. And
I'm so angry. And, you know, Zeus, I haven't been on actually a 5-day migraine, but I'm feeling better. But anyway, I haven't been on because I just can't. I can't right now because I will be so evil to you. I would.
Wow.
And I don't want to do it. But I would. If you come into my live right now and you're happy about this, I'm going to tell you where to go. I'm not going to do that thing where I want you on my side anymore. I don't. I can't host my lives right now. That's why I have not been on. Because I don't want to be that person. But right now, I'm that angry. Maybe I need time to calm down. But I'm watching Donald Trump this morning saying he hates us. Did anybody see that yet?
I saw that. He said
he hates us. He effing hates us. I'm sorry.
That's fine. That's clean. No, there's no whistle on the play.
And then you got Hegseth stopping all the weapons and everything. He doesn't want to help Ukraine. And what did Russia just do? What did they just do?
They just did it one of the largest.
One of the biggest boom since the beginning. And you got Hegseth saying, F you. We're not going to help you anymore. Do you know what's going to happen to them? They don't care. It's cruel. It's sick. Everything I hear about the alligator, whatever the hell they're calling it, they've got merch. They've got merchandise they're selling where it says that on their hats.
And you see these people on TikTok with the alligator and Trump next to it in the picture in the background, promoting cruelty.
Yeah, I just watched one of Mishi's videos. You know, she put up all of these comments that these people said, you know, and it was sick. Oh, stack the beds like this far high and leave only 2 feet and let them poop and like just, you know, just sit in their own poop. Like they don't care. They're joking about this is the way you should. If you got to outrun an alligator, don't run straight. Like they're making jokes about it. About how to run from an alligator.
And what's crazy is that these same people will call themselves a Christian. And that's what makes me angry because I am a Christian and I will say it every single day, every single time.
One.
But this is not Christianity, folks. Don't make no mistake about it. This is not Christianity. If Jesus were walking on this earth today, he would condemn everything. Yep. Everything. I need y'all to hear every syllable. He will condemn everything about the MAGA movement and about this resident tyrannous fascist dictator sitting in the White House. He would condemn it. This is not Christ-like.
No.
It is antithetical to the scripture.
Thank you.
And the thing is, I grew up Catholic. I am now agnostic, and I've had people come at me saying that, oh, you're evil. People from the right that call themselves Christians, those ones, you know who I'm talking about, have called me evil because I'm not Christian.
Wow.
I don't judge anybody. You can worship any higher power that you want to, but just because I don't know does not make me an evil person. I'm still doing better by the people than you are.
Well, Ange, I have some words of advice for you, because I never want to hear you have to explain the fact that you're not a Christian, that you're agnostic again. Because if this, what we're going through right now, if this is Christianity, why would anyone want to call themselves a Christian? So you don't have to call yourself agnostic. You don't have to tell anyone that you're not a Christian. You don't have to do that, because what you are displaying is the love of Christ.
Amen.
And you're not even a Christian.
Amen. And
What
that's
you're
wild.
displaying is a love of Christ. What they are displaying is not. It's antithetical. So no one can tell you what Christianity is when you're walking more of the Christian walk than they are, the supposed Christian.
Amen.
Thank you, Nettie. I appreciate that, because I have to explain a lot what that really means. It does not mean that I don't believe in a higher power. It just means I don't know. But I'm a good person. I wake up in the morning and I think, how can I help somebody today? I don't wake up thinking, like some of the other people on the right.
Thinking that you're better than everybody in the
I'm not-
country
no.
because you're better than the immigrants. You don't walk around with that mindset. Or Laura Loomer, 65 million meals for these alligators. Just thinking about what other things can I do to be such a cruel person because our dear leader is the president. You don't wake up like that, right?
No, it's inhumane. Y'all hear yourselves. How do you, Zeus, that day you played man in the mirror, you had everybody. You really did. I felt it that day. I really did. And that really resonates with me right now. That song.
Yeah.
Man in the mirror. Get up in the morning and how the heck do you live with yourself joking about people being eaten by alligators? What is wrong with you?
What's wrong with them, Ange, is this, and to me, Ange, this is what's wrong with MAGA, especially the MAGA men out there.
No, I can't go off on those guys.
Low self-esteem, don't know how to love or deal with someone loving them, so they've replaced it with just pure evil, vile hate. And these people look in the mirror every day, and you look in the mirror and you go, "Oh, I look good," right? That's how I do. These people look in the mirror and they go, "I hate myself."
Hey Zeus, before I need to run, but before I run, can I explain to you what's going on with the MAGA male? Because I got some insight the other day, and I would like to share it with you.
Yeah.
So the men who call themselves MAGA,
like Angus and Tiny Tank Top, Tim Tom, y'all listen up.
And DJ, of course.
Okay, DJ too. All right.
They are. So inside the MAGA mind, the reason why they're going this hard against everybody is because of liberal women.
Oh.
It's because they want to try to say that only conservative women are sexy as hell, right? They say conservative women are the only.
Keep me going on that.
That's the saying, right? But we know that that's not the truth.
That's right. We do know.
The fact that these liberal women are sexy as all get out, right? And the fact that these liberal women will not open up their legs to the gates of heaven, to them, they're coming after everyone because they want to destroy everyone, because they can't get none, because they ain't none, because there's this song back in the 90s, don't want no short bleep, man. And that's what they are.
I know.
That's what they are. So their ego has been bruised. Their ego has been bruised to the point that they hate everyone that is not like them.
Oh.
We
might have cracked the code. We might have cracked. I think we cracked the code.
They do end up in our DMs. They do.
But I do, because I really do got to get back. I got to get out of here. Let me give you the antidote. There is an antidote, MAGA men. or MAGA boys, because you're not a man.
They are boys.
Betas.
There is
Betas.
an antidote. The antidote is, first of all, you need to repent. You need to repent. You need to deconstruct the idiocy that's within you. You need to get rid of the hate that's in your heart. You need to start loving people who look different from yourself. You need to start taking showers and looking at your appearance. You need to, but here's the biggest part of that, Zeus. They need to pick up a book and educate themselves.
Right. Yep.
Because there's one thing that liberal women will gravitate towards.
What's that?
And that's a brother. That's number one, a brother.
Check.
You know, me and you, Zeus.
Check, yeah.
And then an
DJ.
Don't have secrets out there.
And then an educated brother.
Oh.
A brother
check.
who can spit facts and let those facts be true.
Check.
And a brother that can say, I was wrong. A brother that can say, you know what? We're gonna protect women. We're gonna protect children. We're gonna protect people, human beings that aren't not like us.
I'm checking a lot of boxes.
They don't need to be us, but we have empathy for others. That's how you get into the gates of heaven on earth. And the gates of heaven on earth, MAGA men, is in between the legs of liberal women.
And I don't even like to do that, but I'm just gonna let that one slip out and be what it is. And you got it,
it's just the truth, man. It's just the truth. They're never gonna get any because they're frustrated. They're frustrated in the bedroom.
That's why they go around and go, "What's a woman?" I'm starting to see.
They got their Trump doll.
What's a woman? What's a woman? Because they haven't seen a woman. I guess this is
exactly. That's what I tell them when they come in. Ask yourself what it is. And can I do a reading? WrestleMania down here says liberal women are attracted to food. Now that's what I'm talking about right there. You guys are disgusting. You're disgusting. So only liberal. So you're saying that we're all overweight, right?
And hold on, you're playing into their narrative. See, here's the thing: us real men out here, we don't want to be in the bedroom with twigs and sticks.
Ooh. Oh.
We like meat on the bone. And it's I just want to make this point very clear. It's not about what's in between the leg. It's about what's in the brain. You can be overweight, but as long as you are a decent woman, as long as you have empathy for others, we see past the looks, because looks are fleeting. Looks will absolutely fade. I need someone with substance. I need someone with sympathy, empathy, someone who cares.
All right, that's enough, Nutty, because you're out here advertising, and I don't want you to take on more you can handle, brother.
I usually do, but I said I'm grumpy today. I'm grumpy with them, but Nutty, yes. Typically, yes, but I'm grumpy with them today. You know what I want them to do today? You know what I want them to go get their 18-pack of Natty Light, okay, because we know that's what they drink. You go right ahead and you do that, and then go play with the explosives, okay? That's what you can do, and you know that you will. There was some dumb person up here in Maine that literally lit one off the top of his head. No joke.
Wow.
For real.
That was the last 2 brain cells.
And he's not here with us anymore. So go drink
What a way.
20 beers, your Natty Light, do it up, grab your explosives, and just do what you do.
Wow. I've heard a lot today.
I'm not nice today. I'm sick of it.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, I got to run. I'm going to get out of here. But y'all have a wonderful extension of Juneteenth.
All right.
You know, take a little time to enjoy people, for crying out loud, because this country is a hellscape right now.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
It's nice seeing you, Zeus. We'll see you in the kingdom next week.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Nutty. All right. Wow. It's amazing, Ange, what happened. You said the guy blew his top off, huh?
Yes.
Not that way though, the other way.
Yeah. He got dared, and he had his probably 10 or 12 Natty Lights in him, And yep, that's exactly what he did. And you know, I don't want to see anybody unalived. I don't. But just go out there and be stupid. Just keep it away from me.
And Ange is not being heartless. She's being what they call descriptive. This really happened.
I'm grumpy. I'm grumpy. I'm sick of you. And I've kept it in for like 2 weeks now. I have hardly been on because I knew that this is the way I would talk. And I don't want to. And I typically don't. Everybody knows that about me. But I've had it. And now I will leave. I've taken up enough of your time.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's Independence Day, so to speak, but we're doing it a different way. We're letting these people understand that, you know what, we're not going to sit back and let them just get away with what they're trying to get away with.
No, and I'm not celebrating, and that doesn't mean that I don't like my country.
Oh,
you know,
no.
And that's another thing they were saying. No, I just want it back.
Yeah.
I want it back.
Yeah.
And I'm always proud. I say it all the time. And my son fighting to have it back. 13 years he's given to this country. And he is not celebrating today. He is not.
Wow.
He is in the Navy for 13 years. He's not celebrating today. But that doesn't mean he doesn't love our country. He's just going to fight back. He has the right. He has that right. So don't tell me. I've had people coming and saying, you know, he's not a patriot if he's not going to celebrate today. He's in the service and he's not a patriot. No, he is.
Thank you.
He is. He's just the opposite. He doesn't like our country right now because of MAGA. So don't tell me that.
Tell them, Ange. And they know it. They know it. They got these people. I don't even call them people anymore. These are creatures masking up and going after innocent people in the country. You see it happening, right?
That's kidnapping.
How could you be proud of a country when you know that's going on? And then, you know, Alligator Alcatraz, you talked about that. The situation with the, you know, Abrego Garcia, right? Abrego Garcia, right? The Maryland man, they bring him back, and then you find out how they treated him when he went to the concentration camp. And then you sit back and go, are you really seriously proud of this country?
And I just want to let people know that just because people are in the service, they're not here for Trump. I'm not going to call him the president. They're not here because he re-enlisted. And I had people say to me, why would he re-enlist under Trump? That's not why he's here. He's for his fellow Americans. That's who he's here for. He's not here for that POS.
Yeah.
No, you don't sign up for that. You sign up to be a true patriot and fight for your fellow Americans.
That part.
I have a lot of comments like that, and I'm sick of seeing that. He fights for everybody to do what the heck they want to do today.
Bingo.
And you know what we're doing today? We're just going to hang out with friends. We're going to have a pool party. That's what it is today, is a pool party.
Amen. Tell him, Ange.
All right. I've gone on enough. I haven't been.
You got it off your chest, though, and that's the therapy about it. Yeah.
But I appreciate you letting me come up and take up this much time. So.
Anytime. It's an honor to have you, honestly, and I'm glad you vented and got it out of your system to a certain degree, because it's very important you let people like Tiny Tank Top Tim and Double D and Angus, DJ, and Conservative D in here. You got to let them know that under no circumstances are they winning. All right? Seriously, you two,
never
Junior.
Put on a uniform. You people have never put on a uniform. You haven't.
That part.
You haven't. And just because they do, don't assume that it's for Trump. Don't do that. It's for you guys.
Thank you.
Probably even MAGA, but I can't tell his secrets. Anyway,
you did it right.
I appreciate you. I hope you guys do, you know, have a pool party, hang out with your friends, you know. But yeah, I'm not celebrating that, but I do want to hang out with my friends today.
Fair enough, and that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. Get some, you know, peace and quiet with your friends. That's totally American. I support that 110%. All right.
And the friends I'm going to be with are the same way. We're just having a pool party.
Amen.
Anyway, thank you guys. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you, Zeus, for having me up for like 10 minutes, way over my time. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, W. Ange. No lies detected. No lies detected. Let's see. Who is this? Yeah, Trump didn't serve, but Biden, Obama, and Clinton did. Oops, never mind. Tony from the Theo 5. I did send you an invite because if you're going to be in my chat and you're spamming me, then you might as well be able to come up here and at least express why you're saying what you're saying. Because I don't really speak Maganese that well. I know a little bit, but I don't speak Maganese that well. If you're seriously still supporting this president, then that means there's something truly wrong with you up here because he has clear cognitive issues and you know it. And you saw I had Larry up here. Larry, how do you cure inflation? Did Larry answer the question about how you can cure inflation? No. He just sat there and just, I want to hurl all of these little attacks at Zeus, these little microaggressions, because I can't believe he once again is showing us that the emperor has no clothes on. Well, yeah, the ivermectin. Yeah. So look at that. Where are my critics? Where are my detractors? The ones that were in the comments saying we both lost and all of a sudden your energy is going to be cheaper. I sent you an invite and all of a sudden, I don't want to come up. I don't want to come up because obviously it's not going to be a good discussion. All right, I get it. All right. Let's see. Let's go on to the next panelist. All right, Antonia. Good morning. How are you? Or it's actually around noon. Hello, Antonia. How are you?
Hi, how's everybody?
We're doing good. It's a quick check-in. It's 4th of July, and I understood. People are gonna be out there, so you want to talk to the people and give them hope.
So
I saw you, Doctor. Oh,
I'm actually abroad visiting family, and even the economists here have trashed the Trump tax bill. They have said how horrible it is, how it hurts the lower and middle class, how it's going to hurt people's health insurance. And they have all been appalled how Trump has handled everything and how we reelected him. They are just disgusted. How he's treated Ukraine. They've laughed at how he okayed Iran to bomb our bases, which who the heck okays that? That the other person that was up here earlier. Why do MAGA always have to explain Trump? It's always an explanation. It's never, that's what he said. It's always, no, this is what he meant. This is what he explained. The things on the news here about alligator Auschwitz is disgusting. And I'm going to tell you, unfortunately, nobody's going to come save us. We got to save ourselves. Nobody is going to come to the U.S. and save us. We got to save ourselves and show up for midterms and do what we have to do. But the world is disgusted with us. Yeah. And MAGA is blindly following a cult leader who is leading them to their own demise. How do you cheer for a tax bill that is going to take health care away from disabled, from sick, from children? How do you cheer taking away things from kids? For the pro-life crowd, you're taking away food, health care from them. How do you cheer that? How do you
think they're cruel? These people, do you really think that they're naturally just cruel?
They are hateful, cruel, have no empathy. And what the first person up there was saying of how we shouldn't talk with MAGA, you never know who you're going to get through. That's the one thing is you still want to try and get through to them and educate them. But they do like being ignorant. I wasn't alive because I'm about 8 hours ahead of all of you right now. And there was a live earlier this morning, and this lady was saying that she voted for Trump based on his economic policy. And when you asked her to explain the economic policy and who pays for tariffs, she said, well, I'm not an economist. Well, then you can't say I want his economic policies, but I'm not an economist and I can't understand them. I would rather them just say that they're racist and misogynist than try to make excuses for Trump. Just say I'm a racist.
Anybody out there want to admit they're a racist and a misogynist? Go ahead, put a 1 in the chat if you just want to admit it right now. I can get you straightened out. I think that'll get us right to the point where we can start the rehabilitation process, right?
Just I don't want to hear the lies anymore that it's his economic policies or like the way he walks into a room. That's not what you vote for. You vote for policy and you vote for society. You don't walk into the voting booth and saying, this is what benefits me. Society is all of us, not one of us. I don't go into a voting booth and say, hey, what's going to benefit Antonia? Because guess what? Just benefiting me does not benefit everybody. I go into the voting booth and see what benefits society, what helps all of us. Because when we all can prosper and be happy and get educated and make our lives better, we make everybody's life better.
That part. It's so amazing that you have the ability to actually look out for everyone else. How did you come about getting that kind of a personality? Is that something they teach you, or is that just, how did you get that? Because that seems to be what's lacking with these people.
Well,
I don't even
both
call
of
them people; they're creatures.
both of my parents are immigrants, but my dad was actually orphaned by the Nazis.
Oh,
So I learned what it is to have empathy from somebody who grew up with nothing, worked hard, and gave empathy to others as he became successful because he knew what it meant to go hungry. He knew what it meant to go without. And I was lucky enough to be successful and be raised by parents who provided for us and told us not everybody has that ability.
yeah.
Just showing a little humanity and compassion to somebody, feeding somebody, giving them clothes, doing something for them, you don't know how it's going to impact them. And here we have MAGA who are celebrating feeding people to alligators.
I never thought I would see
Alligators.
anything like this in my life coming from the United States. And then, even while it's happening, having people cheering it on, like you're saying. I never thought we would live in a country like that.
Alligators are mostly peaceful. You're disgusting. Maybe we should feed you to the alligators, Angus. Let's see how you like running away from alligators and snakes.
Mm.
Anybody who supports that is deplorable.
Yeah, you hear that, Angus? And see, it's all fun until the rabbit gets the, you know what? So if I were
And
you,
for
oh, sorry.
and for MAGA, who's not going to be able to afford their health care and whatever it is, please do not sign up for GoFundMe and send it to us and post it on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok that you need your medication because you voted for this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't vote for you to go without. I voted for you to be able to get the help you need to be successful and to be able to get care and to be a human. And you voted for people to be treated like crap. So I don't want to see any GoFundMes. Deal with it.
Yeah, yeah. You don't want to see the crocodile tears at all, huh?
Nope. I don't want to see it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to see it.
Yeah, I'm with
Because
you on that.
a lot of people are going to be suffering who didn't vote for this and they don't deserve it. But apparently we all got to find out because of people's hate.
Wow, what a disgrace. What a disgrace. These people have destroyed our country. They're destroying the world and they're cheering it on. It's just it's one of these moments that we're going to look back and go, "Wow, can you believe we had to go through that?" And you know what? I hate to say it, but the biggest group that's going to be harmed the most is it's MAGA. MAGA is the only one that's going to lose the most out of all of this. Because
I'm going to tell you right now, in Europe's perspective, what we read in history books about World War II and about how people were treated and how people let that happen, we're living it right now.
Yeah.
When we're opening up concentration camps in the U.S., when you hear about people dying in these prisons, we want to call them detention centers. Let's call them what they are.
Call them what they are.
Concentration
Yeah.
camps. That they're not feeding them. These people are soiling themselves. They're not getting water, and we're feeding them to wild animals. At this point, we're worse than the Germans, the Nazis, because you know why? We should know better.
Wow. Well, my hope is that, those who are really honestly paying attention and listening understand that this situation, it does require us to escalate to the, emergency levels and really get out there and get to voting for the right people to be in
We
government.
need to vote. We need to keep educating people.
She's giving you the proof, WrestleMania. She's talking to you. She's giving you the proof. You could go look it up yourself. I don't trust you to do that, by the way.
No, they don't want to look up anything. Like I
Well,
said
I don't,
earlier,
I don't, I don't trust them to even look it up anymore because it's something when you graduated third grade and that's where that's where you peaked at. When you tell me you're going to go research, I'm like, oh, there we go again, playing in the middle of the street all over again. Maybe you shouldn't do that. Maybe you should just come on in and let us give you the answers, all right? And then you go try to figure out how to get to the answer. I don't want to see MAGA using the word research.
and when people are calling for where's Obama, where's Clinton, where's Kamala, they're not president. They gave you the warnings. They told you don't vote for this, and people still voted. And people are like, "We're the Dems." They're the minority. What do you want them to do? No matter how vocal they are, no matter how long they keep up a vote, they don't have the votes. What we have to do is get behind them and get out to the voting booths and vote in midterms and get a super majority, not just a majority, a super majority to be able to repeal some of these horrible bills they're trying to pass.
That part. Yeah. That's what I want to hear. That's what, and I know that they're paying attention to you and you got them scared today, but you know what? That's what they deserve. All right. Because they haven't seen anything yet. If they think we're because you know they think we're fear mongering. Wait until the big beautiful bill kicks in, right?
They keep saying fear mongering because they don't look up any facts. They blindly follow their cult leader. And what happens when their cult leader doesn't make it to 4 years or makes it to 4 years, he can't run for another term? What happens when you can't follow him anymore? And then you're like, wow, he really did hurt me. When everybody has been warning you, when they keep throwing out fake statistics, our GDP shrank, our economy is shrinking. Where do you guys see that this is the golden age?
They don't see it. They don't see it. And it's going to be it's going to be real nasty, but I'm looking forward to it when their relationships start to crumble, right? Because imagine you're married right now and you don't have your end of the rent money or you don't have your end of the money for the food because the food's almost triple and double. Your utility bill's tripled now. And you go to your wife and say, can you give me a kiss? Right? Because this is what Tiny Tank Top Tim is going to do. Could you explain to him what's going to happen when he's going to go try to look for some love and he doesn't got that?
He ain't getting anything. The other thing I want to say is I keep hearing people say, well, I'm not on Medicaid, but each state calls it something different. Some people call it county care. Some people call it Medi-Cal. They have all different names. So it's almost like when they're like, oh, I don't want Obamacare, but I like the ACA. It's the same thing. A lot of these people don't know they're on Medicaid. And for people who do have private insurance, they're like, oh, I'm fine. No, you're not. Medicaid helps to subsidize a lot of these hospitals and clinics. So guess what's going to happen? You're going to start having healthcare deserts, especially in rural areas where stuff gets closed, and now you're not going to have enough doctors or nurses or PAs or anything like that. And it's going to drive up your costs. You think paying $600-700 a month for your private healthcare insurance is a lot? It's going to double.
It's over. Cynthia, you said we're spreading misinformation, Cynthia. Why don't you come on up here, Cynthia? Cynthia, just come on up here and just bring what you're reading, and we'll go from there. We don't really need you to explain it. Just bring what you're reading, Cynthia. All right? Because what I don't want to do, Cynthia, is Antonia, do you want to spread misinformation?
No. I want people to be educated and learn what they're really voting for and the repercussions of their votes.
Fair enough. That's what and I'm on the same page. So Cynthia, hello, welcome. Cynthia, are you there? Cynthia. So I guess Cynthia, you accidentally
keyboard warrior.
You accidentally accepted my request, huh, Cynthia? Well, Cynthia, you're on TikTok. We can hear the Fox News in the background, Cynthia. So why don't you just give it up and the jig's up, Cynthia. and Cynthia dismissed herself. So Cynthia, we caught you. We caught her red-handed, Antonia W. Antonia. We caught her red-handed listening to Fox News. It's over. Well, listen, Antonio, we've covered a lot, but I appreciate you coming up here. All right, we're going to try to get some others to come up here.
Yes.
All right, and as always, thank you so much for having the courage to come up here and tell the truth and wake these people up. And it's not fear mongering; it's the truth. It really is. All right. There you go. All right. Do we have any Trump voters out there? All right. I want to see if there's a Trump voter out here that I could at least try to check in with before I get up out of here. Because I know that I'm not going to change their feeble minds, but I want to make sure they know that we know they're lying to themselves. All right. All right. Do you got any Trump supporters? I thought. Okay. There we go. There we go. Ghostros. Okay. Let's go. Enjoy the big beautiful bill. Or are you talking? This could be a person that voted for Joe Biden. BBB, that could be Build Back Better, perhaps. I know. Ghost Rose 1. I sent you an invite, but I noticed you didn't accept it. All right. So what I'll do is let you go back to where you came from. Do we have any more Trump voters out there? Go ahead and place a 1 in the chat real quick. We don't got all day to do the same song and dance. I've done this for so long now. I think I know the who's who. I know the liars from the ones that are actually telling the truth. I believe so. All right, let's see. Okay, last time, are you there, Dr. Keisha? All right. The last time I accepted you, it disappeared. Are you there?
Yeah, that's what happens. Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, I can. How are you doing?
I am good. I'm headed to Hot Works to work out and do some exercise and all that stuff. I hope y'all are doing it.
That's what, you know what, always coming in, keeping it pure and healthy. Seriously, everyone needs to follow your lead, all right, especially when you're talking like that. Yeah.
People need to be, especially with what's going on. I was listening to some people come up with that guy that looked like a patriot or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm confused why they're here when it's supposed to be a holiday for them. I'm really confused why they come over here to this space.
Yeah.
Really start to internally look into yourself and see if you're truly happy. Because on Juneteenth, I was not trying to spend it in anybody else's place but with my family and friends. So I don't know.
Yeah. It's like they're lacking, isn't it? They're lacking. And they know it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Listen, I heard about the organizing. I love it. I don't know if you knew, but when with Black women started that whole thing with the movement at the beginning of the campaign for Harris.
Yeah.
We decided, I was on an app called Clubhouse, and we decided to stream the call because I was part of the group. We had 10,000 people in the room streaming it, and out of that, we just decided, you know what, let's call ourselves Voices for Kamala. So literally, why I was not on TikTok was during that whole time, we organized, we did medical information, we did medical rooms, we did political rooms, we broke down everything. And we actually were invited to the Unity call. So we met Oprah, we were at that show. I was actually right behind the family that was talking about they lost their sister / daughter.
Yeah.
The whole
wow. So you saw it when they played the clip of my video too then, huh?
Yeah, I was in the whole thing. Yep.
Wow, that's a small world.
Yep. So that's what organizing will get you. If you're truly about the work, you will reap the benefits of it. But it's really not about, the notoriety or all that stuff. But I met some amazing people, and that let me know that there's many unity groups and many people. We were very effective, so hope is not lost.
Amen.
But I'll tell you what, I am mourning today. I am mourning because today, actually, this month, July 1st starts when all the new residents, they come into the hospital, all of the training.
Right.
So did y'all know, and I'll be in 3 minutes, I'm doing my body workout. Okay. The 70% of Medicare funds 70% of training for graduate medical education. That's residencies.
Okay.
We get peanuts, but we get like a low salary, below minimum wage, but they work probably 10, 12-hour days. And that comes from Medicare. Another percentage comes from Medicaid. Now, states like Texas are some of the states that actually provide a considerable amount to graduate medical education. Okay?
Right.
Considerable amount. So when this big, beautiful bill that everyone's talking about, they're so happy because they don't use Medicare and Medicaid. The doctors that you rely on, whether you are rich, whether you have home health, whatever, they come from the training that is afforded by Medicare and Medicaid. So what's going to happen is they're going to put a cap on graduate medical education and the number of doctors they can accept into training.
Wow. So that's less health care for Americans. And I'm trying to keep it in
Not just in rural. I thought some rural. Yes, not just rural. Less health care for Americans. We have less doctors, less specialists.
Wow.
And
How is
then
that
the
America
ACA
first?
It's not America first, Zeus.
Yeah.
And let's not forget about the ACA. There were some things that happened. The ACA really got messed up, y'all. One of the things that was afforded to us was a lot of people that were in the middle of the road that normally wouldn't, be able to get Medicaid. The ACA gave them a lot of coverage.
Yeah.
They got rid of that. So now a lot of people that were eligible are no longer
Yeah.
going to be eligible. Then the paperwork, they said we're going to make the paperwork harder. We're going to get rid of the registration period and shorten the registration period. And normally you're re-enrolled. You have to re-enroll each year. You don't auto-enroll now.
Wow.
Yeah, this is all for people to know about, which we're gonna dive deep into it on Monday.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is what they voted for, so to speak. Not us with common sense, but the people who voted for Donald Trump. This is what they voted for less health coverage.
Georgia girl said doctors will leave for other countries. Listen, Canada's already told us that our license and everything, we can roll it over there.
Wow. Well, that's a beautiful news. Right there you go, Canada. Shout out to Canada for doing that and looking out for our doctors. What a disgrace. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, so do you feel any remorse for these people at all, Doc?
I don't. We were talking about this. People were like, well, if they come to the ER, you shouldn't, accept them. And unfortunately, as physicians, we always will take care of whoever comes.
Oh, come on. If somebody runs it, they go into the ER and you see them wearing this Make America Great Again hat, there's nothing you can do. You have to help them.
Now, I mean, it's even deeper than that. My father's a retired radiologist, and when he started in training and he did procedures, that one of the patients, he was in a rural part of Kansas, they called him the N-word, and he had to keep on. So, yeah, despite all of the stuff we dealt with, we still continue to do our duty.
That's hard work, what you're doing. Because I'll be honest, I would tell them, oh, you voted for this, and then you actually got hurt or you got sick. And I would sit there and I would say, let me go and pray on this. I got to pray first, right? Because I don't want to go to hell for something that I didn't, want to go to hell for. So that would be the first step. But just give me a minute, all right? I need God to really show me that this is what they need emergency. Well, maybe you got to check with somebody else that's in the right place spiritually. Because it's getting hard, Doc. I'm going to be honest with you.
Yep, it is.
You can't go to hell for praying, so that's why I said that, ladies and gentlemen. You can't go to hell for praying, and you really would need God to look over you in those moments, all right? If you're an atheist or, agnostic, I get it. You could still use that as an excuse. God will understand, all right? W, Dr. Keisha. Because, I keep seeing these, in the middle of America especially, these people don't have much money. They fly their Trump flags high. And they really thought Donald Trump was going to help them. And you see them in the ICUs and you see them in their emergency room with that Make America Great Again hat on. Probably the reason they're in the hospital. And then they get in there and then you got to tell them, like, you don't have coverage. Can you at least say that to them? Dr. Keisha, did you go somewhere? I think so. Can you at least deny them and say that they don't have coverage?
If they don't have coverage, no. In the ER, you cannot deny anyone coverage. You know that.
Oh.
But y'all, listen, I am going to come back on Monday, Zeus. Look out for me.
Okay.
I'll be working that day. So around 11, 12, what, you're behind 9 a.m.
Yeah, I'm in the West Coast, yeah.
I'll come back and break it down. And y'all, there are options. There are ways around this. We are working. There are navigators that can help you fill out this paperwork.
Yeah.
And I started a Facebook group, Empowered Health Network, to help people navigate through all of this. So
All
There's
right.
that.
All
But
right.
I'm going to get my workout on. Y'all, please get your workout on. You got to stay healthy.
Fair enough. All right. And you know what? I got to do the same thing, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Keisha. All right. Well, listen up, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? She's going to go ahead and she's giving me permission to do it too. I got to get up out of here. I just wanted to do a quick check-in with all of you in the audience. You all deserve a huge round of applause, but Big Zeus has to get up out of here. What we've learned today, ladies and gentlemen, is that, you know what? As much as you can, try to enjoy yourself, but this is not an Independence Day like the ones we used to celebrate. This is a dark Independence Day. And what this is honestly a wake-up call in terms of how serious things are in this great country of ours, right? Marie, thank you so much. I think I pronounced your name correctly. Yeah, I wasn't going to come on today because, you know, I got other things to do. But then, you know, people have been reaching out. Are you going to do your show? Fine. I'll get up here and I'll check in with you and try to inspire all of you to keep up the good work in terms of resisting all the stuff that Donald Trump and his supporters have been trying to use to get us to give up. We're not going to give up. Dame. This is him right here. This is him, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? Let me see if I could check in with Dame real quick. I was about to leave, bro, but you're here.
Happy 4th of July, Zeus and Zeus minions. Great 4th of July today, man. Great 4th. I feel really good. I feel pride, much pride about being, you know, an American. We're not perfect, but I got a lot of pride about today.
Why?
In this country.
Why? What are you proud of? I mean, do you understand our ancestors would be very disappointed in what you just said and who you stand shoulder to shoulder with?
Our ancestors would be absolutely elaborate if they saw the positive Black images in our community today. That was bringing positivity and enlightening each other on how to be better. They wouldn't give a damn about who the president was. Honestly.
Yeah.
And you guys need to stop bringing our ancestors into political arguments because they didn't even know what politics was. Respectfully.
That's kind of disrespectful because obviously you're not aware of all the things our ancestors accomplished in terms, especially in the arts and the sciences, and some of them even were great inventors. And so for you to suggest they don't even know what politics is, it's just another example.
No. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. You spinning doctor. You know what I mean. They don't know in regards into the TDS Donald Trump politics today. Stop, man. Stop.
So you think Donald Trump is actually delivering, right? Can I ask you a question? Do you got that $5,000? That Doge check? You got that? Don't got it, huh?
We don't need it on this side. I told you, we don't need it. We voted because we don't want stuff like that. So how many times I gotta tell you guys?
So what did he give you? Because you know, I was on your live yesterday, and you're tolerable in the sense that you don't let people do anything bad to me when I go onto your platform and start cooking and booking, right? So I said, okay, I can do something different with you. How do I want to put this? What has he done for you since he's gotten into office? It's been 6 long, arduous months. What has he done that's benefited you?
Gotten out of Black people's way, left Black people alone.
How does that? I don't know what that means. He's gotten out of the Black people's way. What did he do? What did he get out of you?
Ask me what he did for me.
Yeah. Somebody. That's how. So
No, I had a.
See, I knew it.
No, I got a phone call. Somebody calling me.
Yeah, because they're giving you the answers, and they know that you just lied. And see, that's how you get exposed. That's how you get exposed.
No. It's all seriousness. He's taken away. He's taken away the. I know victimization is a triggering word for you guys, but he's taken away Black people being the face of everything in regards to being a victim. He wants everything to be strictly merit-based. Now, whether everybody that supported him are going to follow that, I'm just talking in regards to what Trump wanted and what he has done. He's taken us off of the face of all of these stuff like DEI, and he wants to make everyone
So he basically
everything Mary based in America.
He's told black people to get in the back, huh?
No. He
don't want them to be the face of it, right? Get in the back.
He told you guys built this country. That's what I heard him tell black people. I heard him tell black people, you built this country, and I never heard a president give you the credit for it until me. That's what I heard. Maybe y'all that hate TikTok algorithm didn't show y'all that part. If you got an unbiased algorithm like mine, that's what I heard.
So Trump told you black people built this country.
Help built this country.
Help. So you threw that in there. And so in terms of his cabinet, who's the black one that you would say is a reflection of that in his cabinet?
Stephen Turner.
What is he doing for you?
He's he's 6 months in, number one. So, and I don't know why you keep asking what they're particularly. I don't need no government official to do anything for me. I've been self-sufficient since 2019. I haven't had to get a paycheck from a job since 2019. So it's not about me. It's about what
Trump says y'all could build the country or help build the country, but I ain't got nothing for you in this administration that's actually going to actually help you. Because let's just be honest, those tariffs, right? How does that help you when it actually makes the cost of things that you need go up? This bill, your utility bill is about to get. I don't know about you, but how much is your electric bill? I mean, and I thought about this because I said we got to stop arguing about policy sometimes, and we just got to get down to actual substance. All right, has your utility bill gone down?
It goes up every summer. Everybody knows that.
So that would be a no. What's gas like? What is the gas price in your area of the country?
$2.60.
He said it's $1.99.
It probably is in some places, man. I'm in Houston, Texas, so it's cheap as all outdoors here.
So no delivering. We don't got the $5,000 Doge checks. What do you think?
Eggs. I bought a dozen of eggs the other day, Zeus, for $3.99. $3.99.
Well, he said they were 400% cheaper, and they should be free, and they should be paying you to take those eggs. So I'm not really seeing you benefiting on any of the stuff that I would argue you need as a brother in this country. You see what I'm saying? You were actually, in my opinion, it was cheaper under Joe Biden a year ago from today. Did you know that? Did you know that?
That's not true.
That is, if you go and look it up, yeah, it was cheaper a year ago under Joe Biden. And so, Dame, this is kind of what I've been trying to help folks like you understand. At a certain point, you got to understand, I don't act like a victim. But you all sure do spend a lot of time on this app crying like a bunch of, and I hate to say it, but it's beta behavior. He's the president. He's been in the White House 6 months, and y'all are still out here crying about the Democrats. That's your thing. But what have the Democrats really been able to do? Not much. You're still living off of all the hard work the Democrats have done.
Like what, Zeus?
Well, who helped rescue this country after the pandemic? The Democrats, Joe Biden, right? Who got inflation down? Because you know why it was up? It was up because of Donald Trump and his mismanagement of C-19. Who got it down? Who got unemployment really down to a historical low, especially for, black people and people with disabilities? That was President Biden. Who passed the PACT Act, the CHIPS Act, things like that? Who was actually capping prescription drug prices and, making sure these credit card companies weren't ripping us off and stuff like that? It was the Democrats. Who had us to the point where we had an economy that was honestly the envy of the world? It was the Democrats. And who's been tearing it up? Donald Trump. Any of those trade deals materialize? No. What is Liberation Day? Nothing. Nothing but smoke and mirrors.
Well, the economists say different. They say Trump looked like he was right. After the slight inflation that he told us we would go through, the slight pain. And I might add, that pain wasn't anywhere near as bad as I and everybody else thought. But we're literally, like, China has found a way, Zeus, to offer us pre-tariff prices while still paying the tariffs. So that means a lot of stuff that we get from China, due to labeling, they know how to label their things and send a certain weight, under a certain weight, to where China can still do business with us, give us the pre-tariff price, and take the brunt of the tariffs.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. But listen,
I gave you the economist yesterday on my live.
What was his name? You don't remember his name, huh?
His name was Tovi Slavic.
Okay, good. You remembered him. But listen, Q Dog said he wants to talk to you. You know, we're respectable gentlemen. What do you got, Q Dog? How you doing, bro?
Hey, what's going on, bro? How you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
Dame, we meet again.
What up, Q?
What's going on, man? Hey, got a quick question for you. You got any Haitian friends?
I think I do. Yeah, I got like 1 or 2 Haitian friends. Yeah.
Okay. What do you feel about ICE when they try to grab up them the Haitian people in that community?
Are they illegal, Q?
That just happened. No, they just went into a community of Haitians. They just saw a whole bunch of black folks and tried to grab them.
What that happened?
They got their behinds handed to them. But what do you think about that?
That's not good.
So my question to you is, when I asked you, did you have Haitian friends? Let's just say you were hanging out with your Haitian friends. Let's say today, getting some barbecue or whatnot, just associating, getting a couple pieces of rib, you know, something to drink or whatnot. And ICE come in and they see you and assume that you're Haitian because you're of dark complexion. How do you feel about that, bro?
I'm gonna let them know I'm American and show them my stuff, man.
What if they say they don't care?
I'm gonna sue the United States of America.
How you gonna do that? How you gonna do that with Trump in charge?
I'm gonna sue the DOJ.
How you gonna do that when Trump is in charge?
I'm gonna let them deport me. I'm gonna go about my business. I'm not gonna give them no problem. I'm gonna be like, all right, I told y'all my information. I'm obtaining a lawyer. Go ahead with the deportation process, and I'm gonna sue the hell out of them.
How did that work out for the brother that got deported and they made him bring him back to the United States?
Q, mistakes gonna happen, bro. We got millions of people they're trying to deport. Every execution is not gonna be flawless.
But my question is,
that's a fairy tale outcome. You know that.
But dang, my question to you is, why is it not happening to Europeans? Why do you not see?
That's the biggest misconception.
Why do you not see any videos of Europeans there? And there's plenty of them here in the United States that's undocumented and documented as illegal. Why do you not see? Why do you see it's starting to trickle down? And what I'm trying to get you to understand, brother, is it started. They did this long time ago, and what I want you to understand really clear, brother, because I think we got a good dialogue here. But sometimes you toggle back over on that side of the fence with the Trump supporters and whatnot. See, they tried this a long time ago with the Holocaust, and they figured, oh well, nobody said nothing. We got something. We gonna go ahead and go with it. Now they're doing a experiment with the Latino community. So this is a smoke screen. What they're trying to do is, and I know you guys don't like to hear this, but they're trying to put us back in slavery without using zips and chains. Now they're trying to do it with documents and executive orders. Why do you think they're trying to get the immigrants out of the country? Because what they're trying to do is, instead of you picking cotton this time, they want you out there picking them strawberries. They want you out there picking that corn. It's not funny, man, because I'm looking at this. No, I'm dead serious.
That man said they want us to pick. I can see Zeus out there picking some strawberries.
Listen, Dane, if you're laughing about it, just imagine if you with your family out there and they tried to get you yanked up from your family, and you out there with your Haitian friends.
That's not cool. That's not cool, man.
It's not cool at all.
At the same time, there's nowhere. Hold on, Q.
Because they ain't doing it for the white T folks.
There's nowhere on this earth that consequences don't exist, bro. All of our actions have a reaction. The reaction to you coming into America and not doing what you got to do is a bunch of men come and
But that's
get you,
not what we're
bro.
talking
As
about.
that, but oh, no, but you're trying to evade that fact that there is no place in this world, bro, that is beyond that you won't have consequences for actions. And
Okay.
you're and like you guys want these people just to have a loving deportation process that will cost us more money. You know how
Okay.
much more money? Hold on. You know how much more money it costs taxpayers to get ICE vehicles, to get them full uniforms, to get them all of this stuff, so it doesn't seem like they're just grabbing people. That's more money.
Well, Dame, I want to
millions of people here, bro.
Before
Millions.
y'all go deeper into this, I just gotta blow the whistle on something you said earlier. But please let's not forget where we're at. You honestly think that you can get deported and sent to the Sudan, because they could send you wherever they want to, right? You know that, right? And
Yep.
you think you can launch a lawsuit against the Trump administration? You think that's still a play? I mean,
As a black man.
because that's the most. I get it, because you heard him, Q, when he said that. I said, oh, so he's thinking he's good because if anything goes down, he gonna pull this lick at the end and come up.
No,
That's
I ain't
kind of
saying I'm good.
is that how your mind is working, bro?
No. You guys asked me because at that point it's already done. So
But
that
that's
is
the
my
picture.
only
That's
way.
the
That is
picture
my
you paint.
only
That's the picture
way to
you
get
paint.
compensated for them making that
No,
error.
okay.
at
So,
that point.
do you really believe that you would get compensated? Is my question. You think a
I
loss?
bro. I guarantee you, when it's all said and done, the people that was deported and that has full American citizenship, if that's ever happened, I guarantee you they get compensated. I guarantee you.
I want you to do some homework, and I
That's
want
like
you.
that's like
I want you to.
okay.
I
Hold
want
on,
you
hold
to
on.
name.
That's
I
not
want
true,
you to
Time
Dame.
out. So
Dame, that's not
that's like
true.
saying that's like
Hold on,
saying
Dave.
innocent
I
people
want you
when
to
they get
name
locked up,
5
they don't
people
get
the next
compensated.
time we speak that successfully did that.
Dame, honestly, bro, you got to at least back that up with facts. Do you think the Trump administration would be
Let
turning
me look
around
that.
cutting
Let me
checks?
look up. Let me look that up. Is America liable for lawsuit?
Oh, they could
And
be.
and
They
why
could
why
be.
That's all
why
I'm
are you
saying.
doing
It
that?
might
Why
not
you doing why are
lawsuits.
you
Guess
doing
what?
that, Dame? Hold on.
Lawsuits take years sometimes. So
Why are you
it
doing
might
that,
not be
Dame?
under this
Why
administration.
are you doing
Oh,
that?
it's the
I want to
it's the
speak on.
lick.
I want to speak on today what they call Independence Day,
That's crazy.
1776, August 2nd, when it was signed in 1776. Now, the people who were signing this Declaration of Independence, were they not slave owners at the time?
Yeah, they were.
Mm-hmm. Because slavery wasn't abolished until 1865. So almost 100 years prior, they signed the Declaration of Independence for our independence, quote unquote. But they still had our ancestors look like you in slave chains and zips.
Terrible people, bro.
And
Terrible
terrible
humans.
stuff.
Terrible
Because the reason why I say this, brother, and I don't know if you ever heard me before. I did some deep research on my father's side of the family and found out that my great grandfather was a slave down in Alabama. And his wife, my great grandmother, stripped from his family, sold off to another plantation. You see where I'm going with this? If it's not at your doorstep, see, it's at my doorstep because I never knew this. 52 years on the face of this earth, something just came in my spirit to say, start doing some research about your family, because my father was from Alabama, my mother was from up north. But we never had conversations. I heard many conversations, many stories about my family with my mom and whatnot, but I never heard any stories about my father. But the reason why I ask that is because I look at myself and I look at my father. I see identical features. But when I look at my legs, and I remember looking at my father's legs when he was alive on this earth, he looked like a white tea man's legs. So I want to know who graped my great grandmother to be able to have this complexion. It's deep, bro. And you got to look at all the stuff that they've been doing for centuries and centuries, over 400 years. This is the reason why it's so important for us to know our past so we know exactly where we're going. Because if you don't know about the pain and the anguish that our ancestors, you keep talking about, don't bring our ancestors in. No, if it wasn't for our ancestors, we would not be here. For the struggles and strength that our great grandmothers had, the restraint that they had for not taking the unaliving the slave master that came in the middle of the night and did what they did to have a complexion the way I have it.
Message received. I know Dame letting that sink in. You've learned your lesson, huh, today, Dame, huh? You still feel like celebrating Independence Day now?
I just don't want Zeus. I just don't want him to get caught up. See, it was all about the Latinos or whatnot. You seeing them getting deported, this and that and the other. But now you seeing these brothers that are Haitian brothers that fought back. I don't want to see him in a situation, no matter what his political views are, you are still a black man. I don't want to see you hemmed up in that situation. And now you got to try to fight tooth and nail and try to find any type of avenue to monetarily get yourself out of a situation that you shouldn't have been in the first place, because they had no business coming in trying to take you like they took us back in the 1800s and the 1700s. You got to think, brother. This is no game that's happening right now. This is actual live happenings right now. It's not fun and games. When you sitting in that cell, that concentration camp that they want to put you in, then it hits you in the head. So I'm gonna tell you this one story. I'm gonna land my plane. I got a nephew that just recently did 15-year bid. Of course, he did something wrong that put himself in that position, right? 15 years, just got out a couple years, but last year. He told me a year in, and we talked to him. I tried to talk to him. His grandmama tried to talk to him. His grandfather tried to talk to him. My sister tried to talk to him. His mama, that he couldn't see her buried because he was locked up and he had a date. If he was a lifer, they would have let him see her at her funeral. 2 years in, he wrote me a letter, and I still have it in my desk drawer to the day. Unc, you was right. I shouldn't have been with them people at that time, doing the things I was doing. But now you sitting down in a cell with a lot on your mind, and you got a lot of time to think about the things that you're doing. You're on this app. You're here every day. We talk to you every day. We try to tell you what's going to happen. But it seems like it's not going to sink in until you are in a concentration camp that they want to put all of us in. They want this to be an all-white tea society. They've been said it for centuries. But y'all not getting it. Y'all think y'all going to make a friend with these folks, and they are not going to be your friend when it comes down to the line. They're not. Did you see the video about the young brother that was working in Dunkin' Donuts just a few days ago?
Wait a second. Hold on now. We're getting a lot of dots.
Well, the reason why I'm saying this, Zeus, is and I'm gonna end.
Well, because we've been going, and I got things to do.
I got you. 2 seconds. And I'll just tell him. He was working in Dunkin' Donuts, doing a job. Older white tea man came in, yelling and screaming and attacking him and cursing him, using some racial slurs. Okay, his natural reaction is he jabbed him in the face. The old man unalive. Now he's locked up. People saying it's called defense, self-defense. But did anybody come to his aid? Did anybody at his job come to his aid?
Well, no, it doesn't work like that.
So I'm gonna land my plane right there. I think he gets what I'm saying. Like I say, I look at Dame a little bit differently now that he understands what we're saying. But you gotta let it go, bro. When you're talking about these folks that's not gonna be there for you when the folks want to kick in your door and take you in shackles.
Fair enough. Dame, did you hear that was a real heartfelt plea from Q Dog. What do you got to say, Dame?
Nah, I feel you, Q man. That was righteous, bro. I feel what you're saying. I'm always gonna be anti-racist though, man, and I'm always gonna fight. I know it looked like that I'm a part of it, and I know a lot of ignorant people that's not willing to actually talk like me and you have would think that, but a lot of my friends and a lot of my non-black friends also fight against it. We just fight against it a different way. That's not verbally, but everything you said is legit, bro. I respect.
Respect, bro. At the end of the day, we could go back and forth, for TikTok views or whatnot and entertainment and whatnot. But when it comes down to the nitty gritty, no matter what, I want my black brothers to understand I got your back no matter what. But I need you to have my back on the same token. Because they not, when they coming for all of us. They're not just coming for a certain section. They're not coming for just the Haitians or the Dominicans or just black folks or the light skinned folks. They're coming for all of us.
Fair enough. Now I'm gonna take control of the platform again, but thank you, Q
No
Dog.
doubt,
All right.
brother, no doubt.
So Dame, here we go again. What's it gonna be? Are you gonna in this charade that you got going on supporting Donald J. Trump, and start understanding that there's no bounds to the hate? If they go after one group, they're gonna go after eventually you.
Well, if I see that happening, then yeah, I had that. We definitely could have that conversation. But Haitians, I don't want to keep you longer though. But I'm not really against Haitians getting deported, man. I'm not against nobody getting deported that's not supposed to be here. But if it ever starts to affecting us Americans, yes, we could have that conversation because at that point, I literally voted against my interests. Literally, I haven't seen me voting against my interests yet. But if I see them, if I see what Q's saying, which I pray to God don't ever be the case. American foundational Black Americans getting deported, then yeah, I don't have a choice at that point. But I just don't see that or believe that happening. I just pray that never come true.
So in other words, you're not looking to see it because it's happening. I don't know if you're finding it. You're just ignoring it when it comes. But these are stories, and they're happening to people that really shouldn't be deported, whether they're Haitian or not. It shouldn't matter. Right? I mean, you do understand that eventually this is going to happen to you.
It's not. No, it's not. I'm not getting deported, bro. None of us getting deported.
Okay.
After the big beautiful bill just passed,
fair enough.
They have more funding now. So let's just hope.
I'm quite
they can
sure
do
those
this in
folks
more
out there that
organized
got
way.
attacked by ICE probably thought the same thing you thought, Dave. Real talk. They probably thought, oh, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. And it's happening to them, Dame. And so, unfortunately, bro, I got to get up out of here. You and Q Dog, W's in the chat for Q Dog. But Dame, I got to run my show. And unfortunately, you failed once again. And Q Dog did an outstanding job trying to walk you through real situations that you probably have encountered as a black man here in this country. And yet, you're still going to walk away and say, I choose to side with the triple Ks. Is that right, Q Dog? He wants to side on the triple Ks?
That's all that Trump has deputized, the triple Ks, the Proud Boys. These ain't just ICE agents. These are guys that have no law enforcement training whatsoever.
But they got hatred in their hearts, and they hate people of color. And is Dame a person of color?
He's darker than us.
Well, Dame, you left me no choice. We're running a democracy over here, brother.
Like I said, no jokes aside, Dave. I don't want to see nothing happen to you, brother. I know you on here. And
something's about to happen to him.
These folks know who.
Something's about to happen to him, Q. Something's about to happen, and I can't control it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's Dame. That's Dame. Unfortunately, Dame has left the building because he's possessed with the MAGA demon, and he's promoting racism on his disgusting platform still. Even though Q Dog tried to help him, let's go ahead and send him where he came from, straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
you, Zeus. WQ, dog. And that was easy for you to do, Q, dog. You do it. You're doing it like a professional. I don't know how you do it, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't. What did they
And
say?
make them drink it.
That part.
Like
Playing
I
out.
say, dude, with me and Dane's history, I normally come in with the chain off the neck, and I'm ready to bite anything that's in my path just to get to him. But from the last time we had a conversation, and I see the difference, just like today, there's difference in demeanor.
It's coming. It's slowly, but
It's coming, but it's not coming fast enough. And I don't want him to be in a situation that he can't get himself out of to say, you know what, just like my nephew, Unc, you were right. And it's too late by then. Because we could do this all day long for entertainment, but at the end of the day, if one black brother gets hemmed up, all of us are going to eventually get hemmed up. If we don't keep fighting the fight, we ain't stopping.
Yeah, that part.
Me and you ain't stopping this. This is, like I say, this is the Shaq and Kobe show right here. We ain't stopping it.
There you go. There you go. WQ. All right. Well, listen,
I
I do got to
appreciate
get
it,
up
bro.
out of here. Seriously.
Yeah,
All right. That was a little.
my daughter keep coming in here talking about taking her to the pool, so I'm gonna grant her wish and so we can get up out of here.
All right. Well, listen, thank you, brother. And if I don't hear from you again, have a wonderful, wonderful day today. All right. Whatever you're doing.
You too, brother. Love you, bro.
All right. All right. All righty then. All righty then. Let's go. Let's see who we got. I'll do Val. Hi, Val.
How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How about you? Anything planned today?
Good. I'm gonna go do my normal shopping and everything I do on a Friday that I might get off, right? I
Yeah.
mean, this is not a holiday for me. So this is, what I'm saying, this is something I believe in, and this is why I want to bring this up.
Thank you.
Okay, two things happened in July, July 4th, what I'm saying? These are the things they want to keep bringing up, and July 4th is great. And Dane, I don't even know what to say there. But the thing is, Dane, is I want you to remember this. The day you actually should be celebrating, Dane, is July 9th, 1868. Okay? Because July 9th, 1868 is when the 14th Amendment was ratified, Dane, and that was the first time in this country that we recognized all persons, not white males. All persons.
Word to you. Word. That's what you say to that. Get him, Val. Get him, Val. It's disgusting when you see people like Dame getting up here and somehow justifying sitting in the party he's in right now. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen, right?
Right. And it's one of the things that drive me nuts the most, right? And Dane, for you to talk up here and say that you're backing Republicans and you're backing everything you've done, I want to remind you of something. Since that day in January of 9th of 1968, over 100 years later, or right at 100 years later, was when the civil rights movement started.
Wow.
Okay? Dane, my grandmother, my mom, and my dad all marched in those marches. Dane, you know who else helped put those marches together? Do you know, Dane? Do you know? Because y'all talk about her all the fucking time.
I caught that, Val. I caught that. See what I I caught him. I caught him, though, Mom. Sorry, Mom. Yeah, he tried to get me in trouble, but Mom.
But, Dane, that would be Hillary Rodham Clinton. She helped put those marches together when she was in college. She was an organizer for those marches for civil rights.
So Dame, you have to understand, you need white saviors in your language. I had to say it to him like that, Val, because these people, they don't want white saviors, but they think that all of this stuff happened simply because it was just black people. They got it mixed up. They don't know their history. So Dame, relax. I'm teaching you.
I'm going to agree with Dane on that. You don't need saviors. You need accomplices.
Well, I'm using their language, but yeah, I get what you mean. They're called allies. They're called allies, right?
Allies are no good. We both knew that. Allies are finicky. Accomplices will go down with you.
Oh, look at that. We got new lingo. Okay, accomplices. I didn't listen. I don't even know one person that actually I only go down with myself. That's it.
Right.
But I don't think anyone else will. But I get what you're saying. They understand. I'm just trying to help him understand. You need help.
Right. You need people that are going to back up your interest and fight for your interest. Is just like it's their own.
Yeah.
And because it is, that's the thing is we're all Americans in this, right? And we have to fight for each other. If we leave one group excluded, we failed.
Yeah, that part. Would you, Val? I'm gonna do something radical. Would you fight for Dame to have freedom and rights in the country?
Absolutely.
W Val. So Dame, you see how, and you see why now, Dame. You gotta start leaving room to learn because a lot of us we feel just like Val, even though we know you're clearly misled, bro. We understand that we can't let them do it to you because if they do it to you, you're gonna think it's okay to do it to all of us. I mean, that's just basic understanding.
Right. It's just how it works. And Dane, you said that he hasn't done anything that affects you or your community or anything yet. Sir, the bill they signed yesterday will affect your community. Period. End of story, line out. Your economist that you brought up earlier in this, I looked him up. I can't even find him, Dane.
I looked him up. It's a real person. I forgot the name. I can look it up real quick.
But unless he just said the name wrong.
He might have said the name wrong, but I think he was pretty. Oh yeah, Torsten Slotkin. That was the name.
Slotkin. Okay.
Slotkin. Okay. I don't speak Russian, whatever. Yeah, but that's
Slotkin. So a Russian movement. But here's the thing, Dane. Is he a Nobel Prize laureate economist? Okay, because I'm kind of curious. That's why I'm looking him up because I want to see what his stances and his views are and what his motivations are. But I can tell you, Dane, that 16 of the top economists in this country, as well as other countries, have all said, and these are all Nobel laureate economists, have all said his policies are going to bury America.
Boom.
So, I don't know about your Russian economist.
Ain't that funny? He trusts a Russian economist over American economist, right?
Yeah, that's a little strange, right? Dane, you want to talk about going against your best interests? That's a good way.
Yeah. W Val, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Val, you didn't have to come up here and try to rescue Dame, but I could tell you saw he was drowning and you decided to throw him a life raft. So I
threw him a little bit of a lifeline, right? Come on, Dane. I mean, there's I have people that come on this app all the time. Dane doesn't. We get a hard time for it. Me and Zeus get a hard time for DJ, right? We get a hard time for you, But I see something there. I see a break. There's a break in that system that they want to find a way out and they want to try. And I think the problem is, Dane, is you won't let your pride go. And I think it's the same for DJ too. Won't let your pride go to walk away.
Yeah.
Put down the pride. Open your eyes and look around. And I promise you, if you do that, you'll walk away.
At least he'll have his life. Right? At least he'll have all his body parts and stuff because imagine an alligator getting your arm. Mm-hmm. Some people might not be able to walk away from this. And I say that because we know there are Latinos who voted for Trump who are in this situation too. Just like, so hate has no bounds.
Right. I'm not going to stop them from, somebody wrote, let them go down by themselves. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not going to stop them from going down if that's what they want to do. But it doesn't mean I can't show the light. If I quit showing the light to people, there's no chance that any of them will come out.
That I agree with you, and you've always said you're big on making room for people once they come out of the fog, and so we understand we got different situations, right? You got some folks that you just know there's no hope, flat out. There's no hope. You're unreasonable. You're a terrible human being. Then you get these people that you do win over, and then you got people maybe in the middle. So you got to use different strategies depending on what we're dealing with.
Exactly. There's no one person alike. If we treat everybody they're the same, we've lost again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, there's no one person alike. You know what I'm saying? We have to go out there. We have to figure out where potential. We have to build rapport. This is what I normally do on the weekends. This weekend's not going to be that weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is normally what I do on the weekends. I go out. I talk to people. We find rapport. We build rapport, and then we start talking from there.
Bingo.
Once we start talking from that point, you're not just talking to another person on the street. You're talking to somebody you're trying to build a friendship with.
Bingo. W Val, and you know what? I'll say this about Dame. One thing I've learned is he will not let, and this is why I do what I do. It's when I go to his platform, he's the only person on the right that will not let people
No, I've
disrespect Big
watched.
Zeus.
I
He
come
doesn't
to.
let people
I watch.
disrespect Big Zeus, and so I say, okay, that's something that I gotta at least give him a point for. So with that
Right.
being said, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to let him slide, though, right? We're not going
No,
to let
no.
him get around here and start spreading misinformation because people could be nice to you to try to take advantage of you. So I don't fall for that, but I see what it is and I can work with it to a certain degree. But you know, I have my limits. Misinformation and disinformation and things that are harmful. Oh no, absolutely not.
And that's how it should work, right? But no, I've watched Dane's lives. He doesn't do. I mean, there's a lot of things I disagree with, right? But that's just the way that is. That's okay,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But you know, he does try to keep it somewhat civil.
Yes. Yeah. And so we're going to go ahead and get him on the right side of history one of these days. And if not, then to hell with him. Because there has to be a consequence when you're just stubborn and hard headed, right?
Right. That's the pride.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. But okay, listen, Val. Now I think I do got to get up out of here. All right.
Go
Now.
ahead and get out of here. I wasn't planning on. I was just going to tell the story about the dates.
No. You did the right thing because that's going to sit on his brain. It really will. It's going to sit on his brain, and he's going to say, "Wow, no one on my side ever told me that." And he's going to start to think, "Oh, maybe I do need to start questioning the people that are sitting up here telling me that I'm look good, making myself out to look like a fool."
Hey, Jan 4th, or excuse me, July 4th,
Yes.
1976. Two things happened that were okay. One, we decided we didn't want a king. Okay. Two, we spent the next 12 years putting together a plan to be the outline of what America would become. Okay.
Yeah.
Those were the only two good things that came out of that. And then keep in mind that it took another 12 years to get that ratified. So that's where we were in America back then. But we didn't, that plan did not include all in America. It didn't. That didn't happen until 1868, July 9th.
Tell him, Val. Tell him, Val. W, Val. Let that be your homework for this weekend. All right. All right, Val. I'm out of here.
All right, buddy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's give Val a huge round of applause. All right, y'all made me work a lot today. I didn't plan on working that much on TikTok. I thought I was only going to do 1 hour show, but I've done a lot. All right, stuff that I normally wouldn't do. So I want to give all of you who stayed and listened a huge round of applause. Whatever you agreed with, hopefully you use it to do better. And whatever you disagreed with, hopefully you use it to do better. All right. And again, it's a huge, huge W for yourselves and obviously for me, Big Zeus. All right. I'm going to give also another round of applause for all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. All right. Without you, the show wouldn't be what it is. All right. We made it happen even though we didn't think it would happen. All right. But then I also got to give one last round of boos and shame. And this goes out to all the Zeus haters out there. And they know exactly who they are. They sit out there and they lie and they defend Donald Trump, even though you hit play, right? This is what he said. And then they say, oh, no, that's not what he said. He meant this. No, I can hear very clearly. The problem is you can't. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send them straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
W Zeus. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Take care. We're out of here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy 4th of July. Do what you do. We're out of here. All right, and MAGA, make sure you understand. We all know what it is. Cindy. Let's go. It's a cult, it's a lie. Can't you see? It's a cult, it's a lie. Eugene, knock it off. No more. It's a cult, it's a lie. Somebody said new music. Should I play some new music? You want me to play something from 1600? Let me see what I got. Let me play a little something from 1600. Let me see what I got here, and then we're out of here. Seriously, I'll give you another sample. You know, you heard my State of the Union. Oh, there it is. Here it goes. Here it goes. Here it goes. Here it goes. It's something from 1600.
Iceberg, yeah, I can't even breathe. Hop on me, going skirt, just a whip like that's our team. On top, but I'm on lyrics, so be careful how you speak. Campaign, iceberg, going bird, I can't even breathe. Hop on me, going skirt, just a whip like that's our team. On top, but I'm on lyrics, so be careful how you speak.
All right, that's enough of that, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all take care. I gave y'all a dose of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. It's coming. All right. Take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. Don't do nothing.